Well, Brian, I see on the thumbnail, it's really cool that you have
It's very cool.
HDMI out port. But I gotta ask you, man, what is an HDMI out port? Because I have no idea.
I think it's the opposite of an HDMI import.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pretend like I know what that means.
I mean, I don't really know, dude. I don't really know.
You want to cue the cat?
Please let us cue the cat?
Cue the cat, because I want to say what's up to General Obi Ryan Katanobi,
Katanobi.
Power Fantastic, William McKinney, Prince Groove. I love Obi Ryan.
Yeah, let's over.
Void Citizen Wood, Just Incredible VR. We're gonna need your expertise later, Justin. Spliffy the Smoking Game Cat.
Oh, bro, welcome to the chat.
Martin Game Cat. He says I'll have this playing during dogfights. My squad mates, tons of people playing squadrons right now. Hell yeah, man. Twitcher, the single player Game Cat. Hello, Woody the Bluebird, Robbie B, the English Game Cat, Josh Shosky, Hidji the Game Cat, our local news scooper, Brandon Allen. He says I'm trophy level 280 now. Oh, I need to look at my trophy level. Dan Warp 1, hello. Andrew Bailey, good to see you. Imzadi, hello. Good morning to you as well. It's night here, but I'm sure it's morning where you are. Robert Sullivan, hello. What up, Bobby Joe? Colt 45, Rainman 88, Brody the Game Cat, Trusty Mods in the house, so be on your best behavior. Nick Mulo, speaking of being on best behavior, Nick, I gotta talk to you later about something, man. What was he saying that he didn't like in the Discord? Oh, he didn't like Here They Lie. Everybody jump on Nick Mulo for not liking Here They Lie. Yeah, exactly. Roy Schwartz, hello. Wink Rogers the Game Cat. PJ the Pumpkin Patch Kid, hello. Tell the guy that plays PSVR that we said hello. Johnny No Pockets. Great viewer takeover. Fear to Power 666. J Cape. Chest for Giants. Punch. Yo. Mark Pringlesley. STIRE. Bogeyman Productions. David Moore. Another mod. Jens Wisp. Becca. Hello. Big Fat Frog 1909. What is up, my dude? Durant Fan VR. The Game Cat. Good to see you. And finally, Darth Vader. The Game Cat.
I assume they could see us for the end of the
Yeah, that's exactly. I only start doing that once they can see us. This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every, I don't know what day is today, Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we bring it to you live because that's what live means. For the most of the people that are here, that makes sense. For everyone else, it's in the past. This is all old news. You might as well just go watch something else. My name's Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and the guys to my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station VR. Oh, it's a visual gag. Okay, all right. And that guy on the far right-hand side of the screen, I know it's not a gag. He's putting his microphone back together. This is why why do we prepare? AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What's up, Brian? What's up, Dave? What's up, Game Cat?
This thing has the loosest USB cable I've ever had on a microphone. It just flops out all the time.
Dave Station for the VR.
I was too early on that. I was too early on that one. Damn it. Should have waited.
Yes, you should.
Guys, a lot of cats in the chat, man. Everyone's hanging out. Everyone's having a good time. It's
this guy right here too.
Oh, cat's in the scene and everything. Oh, what's up, Carlos? I got to start clearing out some shelves behind me so Tornado can hang out in scene. She's
yeah.
I don't know where she
is. So we can see all the destruction she's causing.
For sure.
Yeah, she's ruined this place. She's ruined it. Guys, I feel like there's a lot of news that we need to talk about. There's a lot of things we need to do. So let's first and foremost make sure we let everybody know to join the Discord. The link is in the description. Also, I don't know what's happening underneath this video. If your Teespring stuff is up and visible. If not, maybe I'll throw a link into the chat. But last night I put together a few more GameCat items for as far as merch is concerned. We got some face masks.
Oh, yeah.
We got little pet hoodies. So if you got a pet, you can put a hoodie on it with like the Without Parole logo on it. All sorts of cool things. So check that out. And that's it for housekeeping, I think.
I think I'm gonna pick up the one that Belramio designed because it's almost the season for his gaudy Christmas sweater edition.
Orseek, man. Orseek made the Christmas
stuff.
Oh,
was it Orseek?
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody told me it was Belramio, I thought. Okay, Orseek.
They're basically the same person.
Yeah,
wow.
kind of.
Okay.
Just general Europeans.
All Europeans. I didn't think that was a stereotype. All Europeans are the same person.
Yeah.
Guys, real quick before we get the show on the road, let's give a shout out to Robbie B, the English Game Cat, with the 2 quid donation, saying, "The Boys season finale in 1 hour." Well, crap.
Are you serious?
You're gonna have to watch it later.
No.
You have
Is
to watch
it really
the
the finale already? That sucks.
Maybe Dave's not going to be here for the last 2 hours either.
I was hoping it would be a few more episodes than that. What was it? 8 episodes? Disappointing.
I don't know. But thank you so much for the donation, Robbie. We really, really appreciate it. Guys, we got a lot of news to get through this week, but I think we should start the show the way we begin every show with a little game of should we or shouldn't we, when we put 60 seconds up on the clock up on the counter the way that Jeremy likes it, and it's our turn, our time down here to tell you out there, the loyal game cats, whether you should or should not be playing and or watching and or doing the things that we've been playing and or watching and or doing. Who would like to go first?
I can what?
You got one?
Pretty quick. Yeah, pretty quick.
On your mark, get Des, go.
All right. So if any of you guys out there have Quest, or I think it's on PC too, but it's a thing called Walkabout Mini Golf. And it's really, really fun. Drew got me onto it. He convinced me to buy it. We played around multiplayer the other day. There's 4 courses, 18 holes each, and there's a night version of each one that's harder, but it's really well done. The graphics just like pop really well on the Switch, and it's fun to just hop in with friends and play some mini golf. So like the physics feel pretty much perfect. It actually has this cool mechanic where, depending on how long your arms are, it automatically stretches the putter to fit. So, like, you don't have to worry about the size of the putter; it just like adjusts for you. And it just look pretty fun. So I think you can do up to 5 people on there. And I'm really looking forward to trying a game with 5 people, because it really does feel like you're on a mini golf course. Like, you know, you take turns. There's little stairs between each hole. You go up and stuff. Like, it's really well designed. So yeah. Definitely check that one out if you like mini golf. I would say it's fun with friends and by yourself too.
So it's a should we?
Walkabout. It's a should be, yes. Walkabout mini golf.
Nice. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about that, and I think if I had some time, I would love to play that. Man, I don't know why. I don't know what Clap Hands is doing over there. They should really be making a mini golf game with that awesome Hot Shots engine, or the Everybody's VR engine.
That would be incredible. Yeah. Or just something multiplayer would be great.
Yeah, for sure. Like multiplayer, Everybody's Golf VR.
Yeah, exactly that.
Perfect. AJ, would you like to go next?
Sure.
Cool. Let me see if I have this ready. God damn it, I'm really bad at this. On your mark, it does go.
So I'm gonna reach into my little bag of tricks called Saturday Night Live Streams, because there's been a lot of games, and I've been mostly playing what I'm supposed to be playing. And one of the games I wanted to highlight, you know, I talked a couple weeks ago about budget cuts and how much I like that, but I've already got a game that I like more than budget cuts at this moment, and that is Until You Fall, Rise Again. But Until You Fall, of course, came out, was it like a week or 2 ago, and it is just all about just fast, fun, arcade hack and slash combat. It gets compared to, what is that, Infinity Blade a lot, I think. But I've been really enjoying this game, and I haven't beaten it yet. I've gotten to like the second boss. But I told some of the cats and stuff that I can't wait to play some more this weekend in my free time. It's one I'm really looking forward to. But Until You Fall, really, really good game, and yeah, awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, so I think it should be from everybody here.
Should we?
Until You Fall, good.
Had seconds going on both hands. I didn't know what to do. All right. Excellent. Then I'm going to see if I can't get this working properly. Yeah, everyone knows the Here They Lie trailer, because Nick is out of his goddamn mind. Anyone who doesn't like this game is insane. On your mark, get Des, go. So I got the CBS All Access pass, the basically, so you can watch CBS shows. Because I haven't had cable in so long. So like regular TV is just off the table unless it's on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, whatever. And so this is the first time I've actually had access to current shows outside of like Hulu really for a while, and so I've been trying to get into Picard, as we all love Next Generation, and I was like, man, okay, here we go, this is going to be awesome. I kind of set my expectations low because I kind of heard some negative things, and I'll say I don't think it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. I just think I can't figure out so far why Picard has to be the character in the show. It seems like they could have picked
people will watch it.
Well,
so that people will watch it.
But from a
if you
narrative
put Picard
standpoint,
on the cover,
right?
I know, but if you put Picard on the cover, then people are like, "I'm in."
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty cool. I don't know where it's going. I've only watched the first episode. I need to get the rest in before my subscription expires. But yeah, actually, it's only like $6 a month, so I might let it run for one more month.
If you ever decide to cancel it, I can give you my login. I have an account.
$6.
But I never.
I don't mind paying if it's that cheap. Yeah. So whatever. It is what it is. I'm curious to see where it goes. Maybe some people in the chat can let us know if it gets better.
No spoilers though, because he's actively watching it. So don't say, "Oh, in the final episode, I hated how whatever X Y Z." You
Right.
know.
Robbie B with the English Game Cat with the 2 quick donation saying, "Show the clip of the week again, Brian." That is too funny, man. I don't, I don't know about that. I don't know if I have that handy, to be honest with you.
Come hang out Saturday. I'm sure it'll get requested again. Brian, are you gonna do a 2-hour Dreadhall stream?
I am. I actually promised myself. Every time I watch you play, I go, "Oh, I love this game. I can't wait to play it." And really, I haven't kicked off Spooky Month the way I want to kick off Spooky Month. I thought on the first we were going to have the Dollhouse DLC for Spookies, and since we didn't get it then, and then we were supposed to get it on the second, this was supposed to kick off the month, and then it didn't really happen. And so the best we've done so far is Why We Love episode of No Way Out, which is really a sad way to start the Spooky Month. So I am absolutely going to do that. I've got so many things on my list that I'm like, it feels like I'm drowning. The Squadron's review has been basically done for like 24 hours, and it's just not where I want it to be. Like, I'm just not happy with it. So like I keep reworking it, and it's one of those things where eventually you go, I just need to fucking scrap this and start it over, and then you go, I can't do that, it's going to take too much time and I got too many other things to do. So I'm trying not to scrap it and start over, but that's what's getting in the way of everything else right now. But yes, I don't know if I'll do it tomorrow or if I'll just save it till Saturday, but I'm definitely doing at least a 2-hour live stream of Dreadhalls because we love it so much. Shout out
Fancy.
to Donatello the Scientist Game Cat with a $10 donation. Any pizza slices being thrown?
You were gonna leave that in the final cut, Brian. I'm gonna be answering for this thing for years to come.
At least we know a lot of people are watching Viewer Takeover.
That's true, I guess. Yeah.
I didn't even read the comment until just
Yeah.
now. Okay, I get it now. I was wondering, what are your top 3 cock-based games?
Battlezone, Squadrons, and what's a good cock-based game? I don't know. I can't think of one.
Ace Combat.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, yeah, go watch Viewer Takeover if you don't get the reference. And Spliffy, the Smoking Game Cat, with the 5 quick donation, saying 5 Republic credits as a thank you to Brian, AJ, and Robbie, the UK Game Cat, for inviting me to my first squad on Squadrons.
Nice.
Me in hell, yo.
Yeah.
Ow. I think I got that down. Okay, guys, should we? Is that it? Shouldn't we all done? We're good to go. Moving on to the.
Start the show.
I'm so
Can we start
excited.
the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. What are we starting the show with this week, AJ?
Well, guys, we've got some new games that are kind of being submitted to Sony. We've got some updates, some huge updates that happened this week. 2 different releases that came out. And of course, and some major changes going on. So, what's up?
I want to say real quick, as a hint to everybody out there, our first news story is a big one. You know, like 15 inches big, like pretty big news story.
So, of course, we're going to start out with the
I'm so in the dark
PS5
here.
related news. And so earlier this week, we're getting close to PS5, man. We're just barely over a month away. We're basically a month away. Guys, we're going to have PS5s in a month. How exciting is that, man? I can't wait. But we didn't get exactly the news that we've been waiting for, stuff like the GUI and everything, just like the home screen stuff. So I'm still wondering about some features. But we did get a teardown from Sony PlayStation. They posted this in their blog. They posted it on Twitter, all social media and everything, and on YouTube, of course. There's a video you can go watch, which I'm sure Brian's going to be doing it. But it basically disassembled a PS5 right before our eyes and kind of explained, what some of the things were, what some of the design choices. And did you guys have a chance to see this?
I watched it right before the show. Good stuff to see here. Like, I like the removable faceplate thing. Right off the bat, they're saying, "Oh, here's something for expandable storage. In the future, here's a slot for it. Just pop it in there." Sounds like it's got some like dust catchers that you can actually use to keep the system pretty clean, which I don't think the PS4 had anything like that really. And then once you get into it, I mean, it seems like this thing is a beast, really. It's huge. All these components would be expensive if you built your own PC with them at this point in time. But yeah, I mean, it looks great. Brian, have you had a chance to watch?
I did, and haven't been technically inclined as far as like how this would relate to PC gaming parts since I built like a 486 computer 20 years ago. Like I've no idea what any of this stuff is anymore, and so that's why I was really hoping. I was hoping that I asked AJ ahead of time. I was like, "Are you going to be able to like take us through this step by step and actually let us know what all this means?" And thankfully, he's going to be able to. But the one thing I want to say before any of this is that when I watched the dude take off the panels, I was like, "Sweet, give me some fucking black panels for my PlayStation 5." Because as much as I like the white and black design, like I want this thing to everything else I own is like just black. I just want it to be black on my entertainment center.
So yeah, we're gonna break it down piece by piece, and I'll let you know the two biggest things, the most significant things that I noticed. One was, first of all, it seems pretty easy to disassemble. And starting with the panels, we talked about there was rumors or something. There was a picture of a PS5 with the panels off of it, and we were like, oh, this might mean that we have customizable panels, and that does seem like a thing. I can't say that I'm personally like that's going to be the first thing I do. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be something that maybe after a long time I go and swap out because I like the way the design is.
Well, if it doesn't have any PSVR functionality out of the box, it might be the first thing we do because we've got nothing else to do with this fucking 200-pound paperweight.
Playing bug snacks for you guys.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I'll play Demon's Souls while I'm waiting, I guess.
Okay, I'll do that too. Yeah,
I did see this this hilarious post on Reddit, and it was like somebody saying like, "Ooh, like you can remove the panels," you say, and they had a picture of like Han Solo in that like carbon, like
nice.
what was it, carbonite? I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the thing, and I was like, oh yeah. See, so eventually it's going to be kind of fun to see what people come up with their 3D printers and whatever they can get access to. But yeah.
The other thing I think might be cool is like, they always do these PS4 special editions where it's like you get, say, Death Stranding, and it's like a special PS4 with like the hand. You could get special editions that are much more affordable if they just sent you faceplates. Like it's $20 extra.
Yeah.
You get a whatever it is faceplate. That would be cool. I'd have a few of them. Like a fun way to swap out stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I want my Resident Evil one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But really, one of the biggest things that I took away from this was the cooling. We know that PlayStation 5 is supposed to be a lot faster, but when they were breaking this thing down, I mean, there is so much thought, and this is a lot of it. This is on paper. Like we obviously haven't tested this yet. We haven't had our hands on it yet. Haven't spent enough time, so we don't know. But on paper, guys, I was really, really impressed with the cooling design of this thing. Electronics do run really hot. That's been a big problem with PS4. When the PS4s came out, it had this really cheap thermal paste that just didn't do a good job of cooling it or keeping it cooled. And because of that stuff like that, it gets so loud. And that was one of the biggest complaints this gen is how loud the PS4 gets. So in particular, I mean, it uses some things I've never seen used on consoles before. Absolutely not. Like liquid metal cooling. It says T1000 cooling, right?
Wow, that's intense.
T1000 is part of the PS5 itself.
I'm just worried about what that liquid could morph into and come out of my PS5. I don't want a T1000 walking around my house just because I bought a fancy game system.
Shuhei Yoshida will come out of your PlayStation 5. Everyone gets a Shuhei with their PlayStation.
I'm picturing like the beginning of Terminator 2 when the guy just like comes in just like naked on the ground, except it's Shuhei and there's like lightning crackling around.
I picture that constantly.
But that was one of the newest things. One of the newest things I've seen. But the whole design itself, it's got like in between the panels, it has like all these vents. It has a huge fan in it, and then there's a rear exhaust. So the cooling design, just the way it was put together, seems like they really put a lot of thought into that, making sure it seems like this thing's going to be really fast. We already know it's going to be really powerful. It's more than double the teraflops and a lot of the other specs of just a PS4 Pro, which is like 1.4 or something, and this is like 10.3 teraflops. So just from a power perspective, it's going to be more than double the PS4. But there's an onboard SSD. This was kind of surprising. The SSD itself is actually built into it and integrated. This, with hard drives, there's a disk that spins and it reads data and stuff like that. And with these don't have that. So there's a lower risk for what the reason hard drives often fail is like the vibrations, the movement and stuff, and it can cause an issue, cause it to get damaged. And this is just a different design. And aside from the speed, there's also a lot more longevity here. But because it is on board, you do run the risk. Hopefully there's no problems like with failure or anything. Make sure you have a surge protector and stuff at all times. Don't be running your PS5 without a surge protector, because if this goes down, it's not going to be as easy as just pulling out the hard drive and putting in a new one yourself.
Move Carlos because he decided to sit down right between my Quest and my PSVR.
Real quick, I want to make sure we give a shout out to Professor Lilith before we get too far away from it. $3 donation saying dreams, music, tools. Thank you so much.
Huge update to Dreams. I can't wait to get into that one. That's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. I get to try that out too, and really exciting stuff.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear all about it.
So
if you guys can't tell, AJ is a IT guy. That's why he knows all that stuff. But yeah, the SSD, I wanted to say, they also were talking about adding extra stuff to the casing of the SSD itself to make it quieter and more reliable and stuff like that too. So that was an interesting twist. Because they're already pretty much silent. I mean, there's no moving parts. So that should really cut down on the noise, like you said.
That's true. There's plenty more to break down that we got in this, though. This is something I thought was really interesting. They've got dust catchers that can be vacuumed.
Guess who's not going to vacuum it ever?
All of us?
Yeah,
probably all of us.
Nothing ever gets vacuumed around here. Yeah.
Now Sony could say when you hit them up for tech support, their first question will be, "Did you vacuum the dust catchers?"
Right.
You're like, "No, I didn't."
Well, I love this. Most people, they use, with modern electronics, they use compressed air because you're not supposed to use a vacuum. I hope you're not vacuuming your PS4 and stuff.
Maybe that's a bad translation because he said vacuum. Like it said vacuum, and that seems weird.
What do you mean?
Like in the subtitles, it said vacuum out the dust catchers. Like that was the exact words that he used.
Right. But see, that's
weird.
what it's. I think that's part of the design, though, is that because you're not supposed to usually use a vacuum on electronics because there's a small chance it can create static electricity and damage that, and if it will fry that, and then you got to replace basically the whole thing, like especially if like the motherboard or something gets broken. That's not going to be easy to replace. But I really just an interesting design. Obviously, dust buildup creates heat as well. That's what I'm saying. My biggest takeaway, there's tons of other little things we're going to break down, but my biggest takeaway is just like the amount of like thought going into like the cooling and keeping this thing cool, because this thing's going to be a big beast.
Which is really topical, considering that people who have hands-on with Xbox Series One, Series X. Can we change the name of it, please? It's fucking ridiculous. The Xbox Series X apparently runs really, really hot, and that's
like so much that you'll burn your hand on it if you rest your hand. Apparently,
that's a little bit concerning. And so knowing that Sony had this teardown presentation ready to go, and that it actually addresses all those things at the perfect moment is pretty cool. Knowing that we're not going to have to worry about our entertainment centers catching on fire.
Yeah, the rumors or whatever we're hearing about the Xbox being really heated or really hot. Like some people are saying, like this is borderline, like could warm up my room in the wintertime. That would definitely be very concerning, especially and what makes that more significant though is, first of all, if you look at the design of the Xbox, it just looks like a bunch of components kind of just sitting against each other, just kind of shoved in there. I know some people are back and forth on the design. Personally, I like the design of the PS5, but especially when they unboxed it and just see how, like, I don't know, just something about looking at the what it looks like on the inside. I really like the components being a little further apart, not so crammed together and stuff. All this airflow. The fan is actually designed to intake air from both sides, from two sides at once, and then have the exhaust out the back. So that's going to help a lot. That's really important. I don't know anything about the fan component itself, like if it's a really sturdy design or not. It seemed like it. Somebody actually mentioned that they took the design of the fan from like the Hoover Dam or something, like for like the water control or something. If that's true, that's absolutely nuts.
Actual turbine in the fucking thing is what you're saying. Like, it's big enough.
If that's true, that's nuts. But yeah, and then if you look at the motherboard and stuff, it's got all this lining of just looks like a lot of different cooling methods that are going. There's extra heat sinks. Oh, speaking of the heat sink, guys. So the heat sink, when he pulls this thing out, it looks like the size of like a futuristic gun from the Terminator. It looks absolutely nuts. And this was probably another one of my favorite things that I saw from this thing. So the way a heatsink works is usually it's near like all the GPU, CPU, whatever, and it basically is designed to make the hot air like travel safely out of the system versus just building up, making all the heat thing. And usually it's a piece of metal that has like strips on it, and yeah, it kind of like pushes the heat out. And this thing looks absolutely goddamn ridiculous. There was lots of comments on it, but personally, from my experience, the bigger the heat sink, the better the cooling. Just from different things I've built, definitely usually works. But it seems like there's some other stuff in there too, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that heat sink? I gotta ask.
It looks like it's from Autica. It's like one of the
right.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with it, so like when he pulled it out, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, I have no idea what a current heatsink looks like. That's why I'm just sitting back and listening, man, because I'm finding this extremely informative, to be honest with you.
Good. I'm glad. Copy Pasta says, will the old camera work on PS5? Yes, the old camera will work. However, there's going to be an adapter free of charge. But we don't know how to get it yet. Once we know how to get it, they'll announce it in the blog, but they said they'll also put it on the PS5 website as well, just PlayStation.com.
Assuming they're just going to be in a big box for you to just grab one, take one as you walk into Walmart, just sitting outside. Anybody who ordered a PlayStation 5, just take one.
I hope
yeah.
So.
I'm also curious to see, the other thing about that is I'm curious to see if, there's a lot of unanswered questions still. There's still a couple things left with this teardown, but just while we're on the subject of PS5, that's kind of just what we're talking about. Brian, you and I were talking recently about like, we're kind of curious to see like what is the full functionality of like VR, like how is VR going to work with the PS5? And we know it's backwards compatible. We know we know a couple things, but we don't know anything about this adapter yet, specifically. But then we were talking more and we were like, you know what? There's a lot of stuff that they haven't disclosed yet. It's not just VR. When you look at like, there's a lot of unanswered questions besides like the user interface, like the home screen and everything, the create button, which by the way, they sent out PS5s to a bunch of Japanese YouTubers to show off some gameplay and stuff over the weekend. And apparently like the UI was like either disabled or the create button was disabled. And like they were forbidden from showing any of the UI. So that's going to be,
which I get, man. It's like not actually that surprising, It's like Sony is doling out this information little by little and trying to make sure that the focus is on them constantly. And so, to be like, oh, hey, Japanese YouTubers with millions of subscribers, their goal with that was, hey, show off how cool the DualSense is with specifically Astro's Playroom. And that was the purpose of that period. Like, I don't even, and I could be wrong. I kind of took a cursory glance at one of them, and I didn't even see the PlayStation 5 turned on. Like, I don't know what lights up when this thing is on. Did you guys happen to see one of these videos? Maybe I missed it. But I was like,
No, I haven't seen it.
but I kind of want to see like are any blue lights shining, from LED shining from inside that, the white hull of an exterior. Yeah, I just kind of want to know, man. It's like these little things that you would think we would know by now. Simple things. What does it look like when it's turned on? The user interface, all this stuff. But Sony's gonna give that to us like little by little. I'm assuming over the next few weeks, or there's just gonna be one big event. I guess either way, I'll be happy.
The thing that you just mentioned also made me think of something else that would be cool. The way that the sides are removable reminds me a lot. In general, it reminds me a lot of a PC build. AJ, you can understand why. I assume like it's like a very tightly designed PC build. But imagine, how PCs, fancy ones, always have like glowing RGB lights and like they go in time with stuff, and like that's part of your gamer PC build. Yeah. You could slip on covers that had built-in LED lights and like recreate that effect with your PS5, I assume. So the cool ideas you can do with that. I don't know.
Yeah. I do have some of that. I never went too fancy with it, but it is cool. I do have like I do have a gaming rig overall, and it's got the cool LEDs. That'll be an interesting thing, like you said, with the customization, especially like once we get into the panels and stuff. That'll be really interesting. I bet you people are going to make some crazy stuff. So moving on, another one of the things that I thought was really impressive, J Cape actually just mentioned this. I'm gonna say it before I forget. But the stand, the first thing he does is he takes off the stand, and the significance of this I actually was really impressed with, because the old PS4 didn't come with the stand, right? You had to buy one, and it was just like this kind of cheap piece of plastic. But there was something that in particular caught my attention. So he unscrews the stand, the one screw in it, takes it off, but then it also has a cap, so you can like put the little cap and cover it up. But then he puts it horizontal, and then the stand has like another way where it clips onto the back of it. And that I actually thought was really cool, because I don't know, it's just something about that I really liked. Just the attention to detail, I guess maybe it was.
Yeah, somebody in the chat was saying over designed in a good way, and I totally agree with that. Like the little things like that cap he talked about, the way that it's got a holder for the screw inside the base so you never lose the thing. It's just like a nice touch. Like I would lose that screw if they didn't have that thing, and I'd have to go looking for it. And so, I appreciate those little attention to detail, like you said.
Right. The other thing that we got confirmed was RDNA 2 GPU. That's the next generation AMD processor. Graphics card. That's really interesting, because I like AMD. I've always used AMD, and I've used it forever. I'm pretty sure PS4 used AMD as well. I want to say. I think that was like one of the first times. Let's see, PS4.
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm working behind the scenes to make sure we have all of our winners ready for the giveaway.
Did we get Lilith's tip from a little earlier? Okay, good. Just sirens on your end.
Yeah. So PS4 was the first time, I think, as far as I know, the first time they used AMD. And I've always really liked it. Like I said, I've always used it for my for my PCs and stuff, and it's never steered me wrong. And then the other thing is, let's see here. They also showed off that it has Wi-Fi 6, which we had thought maybe they were going to have, and Bluetooth 5.1. So that is actually pretty much covers everything from this teardown. We still have a lot of unanswered questions, but this is basically what's going to happen. Similar to this week, Sony's just going to randomly drop this info in the form of another video, in the form of PlayStation blogs or something. Just be ready. Maybe even as soon as next week, they're just going to randomly start dropping more information as we get up to launch.
Is that what you think? You think it's going to be just like more blog posts like this one? And it's not going to be like, hey, here's that final big PlayStation 5 event push, right? Just to be like, make sure that everyone's on board and everyone's like paying attention to them one more time before that final launch.
Josh Sosky says, I want to know all the details about the expanding the memory. We don't have all the details on that yet. And I see XSpacer X says PS4 did use AMD and Xbox One too. NVIDIA tried to charge too much, so they went with AMD. I've just always liked AMD anyways. Speaking of XSpacer, I think he posted something in the Discord about Western Digital just announced its first batch of next-gen SSDs. And it's looking like this is similar to what can go into the PCI expansion slots. There was an internal expansion slot. I think Dave actually mentioned that.
It's really easy to get to too. You don't even have to open up all the internals. You can get to it, I think, just from the initial slide off the cover. There's a spot that he showed off. I don't think you even have to break the whole thing down to install it. It looked really simple. I think
Right.
PCIe, like you said, is what it is. So existing memory should slot in there just fine.
Right. And it looks like now this is, I think Sony said, wait for us to confirm. But if this is true, it looks like there's like a 500 gigabyte expansion for $150, 1 terabyte for $229, and 2 terabyte for $449. Obviously, if you just wait a little bit, those are going to go down in price. I mean, 1 to 2 years, stuff seems to go down in price and evolve and stuff. And so it's not going to be, it's not going to be too bad if by the time your hard drive starts or SSD starts filling up, those are going to be new stuff. David Moore with the $4.99 donation says, so we know the connector for PS camera and we know the ports for the PS5. Do we need to wait for the dongle or just buy an adapter from like Amazon? Know the connector for? We don't know the connector for the PS camera, the old one. We're still waiting to see that, and it's going to be free. If you're talking about the PS4 camera, we don't actually know that yet, but we will eventually. But thank you for the donation.
Sorry if you just said this. We don't know if you're buying a PlayStation 5 for the very first time and you're like, oh, I'm going to buy the camera, I'm going to buy the headset, I'm going to buy all this stuff, and you were never a PlayStation person before, so you don't have all this leftover PS4 gear. Do we know if the PlayStation 5 camera will work for the current PSVR headset? We don't know that, right? Or do we know?
There's no port for it. We know that you can't even attach it without the adapter, right?
Right.
It's got straight USB ports. The current was a proprietary port.
I'm saying the current the PS5 camera.
Okay.
PS5 camera.
Will that work for the current headset? That's I feel like
we don't know that
that's
yet.
one of those questions that like somebody just needs to be like, oh yeah, no, of course it will work. Of course it will. But it's just so weird that they haven't clarified that. It's like, where are we getting the adapter for the PS4 camera? Of course, why wouldn't the PlayStation 5 camera work? Why wouldn't it? There's no reason it shouldn't work. But like, we need to be told these things, like, just to clarify. I don't know. It just seems
take it with a grain of salt. But this is just my own speculation.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the PS5 camera will work with the Gen 1 headset, and it's going to have 1080p in each eye. But yeah, I do believe it will work. I believe maybe they're not saying, and I actually think it could have a slight enhancement, not like much, but it's light tracking. So whatever the camera sees, the better the camera can see your lights, the better it can track, right? It's common sense. And if this has better quality, then naturally it should slightly have better tracking, but it's not going to fix all the tracking problems. Light still blocks each other and stuff with the Move controllers and the headset and stuff. So it's not going to solve all our problems until we get a second headset that most likely has inside out tracking. But still, who knows what they'll develop over time. But yeah, I'm just going to be I'm going to get this adapter. I'm just going to be using my PS4 camera, until unless they say like there's a huge difference or something, then I'll have to I'm going to hold off. I think that about covers it for everything on the PS5 Teardown. Onboard SSD, liquid metal cooling, huge heat sink, dust catchers that can be vacuumed, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.1, removable side panels, air intake from 2 sides with rear exhaust, RDNA 2, GPU, tons of cool stuff, man. Not exactly like the most exciting stuff to some people, but this was definitely awesome to me. Like I said, the big takeaway for me was the really awesome thought towards cooling. That's going to be very, very, very important. They even talked about this during the Mark Cerny thing. He mentioned how much, like, it's going to be reading like 5 gigabytes a second and stuff, and how fast it is for this thing to be this fast. It's like 50% speed, 50% cooling by design. It's pretty sweet, man. I'm excited.
Excellent. Thank you very much for going into detail with all of that. It also gave me ample opportunity to find all the winners for the giveaway, which I think we should do now because there's a lot and I just want to kind of boom, get through it, if that's okay with you guys. Excellent. That's going to start us off. God damn it. I even had the trailer all ready to go, and why in 2020 is Sony still releasing trailers in 720p? What is going on over there? This is ridiculous. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is give away 7 PSN gift cards for $10 a piece, or the equivalent, depending on what region you're in. And that is in celebration of Without Parole hitting 70,000 subscribers. Thank you, all of you guys out there. That is insane. It's a crazy number, and we love you all so very much. And these cards are coming from Loyal Game Cat, J Meow. So thank you for your donation and making this giveaway happen. Okay, there are 7 cards. You guys ready for this?
Strap in.
All right, here we go. The first winner is T-Trip987. He goes, I always watch this when I get up early on Sunday or Monday, meaning PSVR this week. We asked them all to tell us what their favorite Without Parole show is. Best thing to get up to, and always excited for the week ahead. We'll make sure T-Trip gets his $10 gift card. He is from the U.S. Also, Jacob Engel, the second winner. Favorite show, PSVR this week. We're going to make sure you, from North America, okay, that's 2 from North America, get your PSN card as well. The third winner is, oh boy, CSTBFO_Jad. He goes, you guys play a big role in keeping PSVR alive while in this dull in-between stage of PS4 and PS5. Keep up the good work. Favorite Without Parole video are the top 25 videos.
Nice.
He comes from the land down under. That's what he says. I come from the land down under. Excellent. So at least they're not all from the U.S. The fourth winner is Ryan Farrell. He goes, my favorite show is PSVR Viewer Takeover. Oh, hey, guys, somebody likes that show. That's awesome.
They actually like to hear us talk.
He says, love the discussions. They've been really helpful and insightful. He's also from the U.S. That was 1, 2, 3. That was the fourth winner. Fifth winner is Motumbo87. He says, PSVR this week is my favorite. I'm loving going back through all the Why We Love PSVR vids as well, though. Motumbo is from the U.K. Is that right? 1,
Nice.
2, 3, 4.
I've gone down I've gone down that Why We Love rabbit hole before. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, it's for days where, like, I've certainly done this with other people's videos. It's like sometimes when people just talk ad nauseum about stuff you're interested in, it's like, just let it run, man. Let it run. Stay in bed. Make some hot chocolate. Enjoy the fall weather. Yeah.
Well, Why We Love is very good for just like, it ages really well, because usually you tackle a game when it's been mostly updated to some degree, at least, if not like fully upgraded. So yeah, it's like they're kind of ageless.
Nice. We've done 2 on Beat Saber already, and of course, right after we did the second one, they announced the multiplayer. So I was like, we got to do a third one soon. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys can do that episode or something, just so it's not me and Jeremy talking about this over and over. Moving on, Kyle Knecht, or Knecht. I can't remember if I got that right. He goes, yo, it's your boy. Sorry Stain. Oh, hey, Sorry Stain. He's from North America. He says, I be loving that GAMESCAST live, though I never catch it live. That's unfortunately the case for most people.
What up, Kyle?
Yeah, what's up, Kyle? That's number 6. And then number 7 is Sushi Cat. Says, definitely this week is my favorite. Very informative. From the UK. Okay, so mostly from the US, the UK. Sushi Cat.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, how could you not? I love sushi. I love cats. And I love cats that love sushi. Oh, man.
Awesome.
I hope Tornado never likes sushi, because that would be the most expensive cat in the world to own. And can you imagine? I got like a bag of cat food that
Tornado
she loves for
only
$7.
eats the finest of caviars.
Oh my god. She's like, spicy tuna roll only, crunchy or nothing. I was like, fuck, man. All right. Then we also have 3 more giveaways, or 3 more things to give away. This is for the O-Shape giveaway. Thank you very much to Otter's Lab, I believe, is the developer who sent us these for a giveaway.
Yes.
These are all North American keys.
Get ready for a workout.
Yeah, totally.
This game's gonna kick your ass.
I'm actually excited to review this one just because I want to.
You're gonna lose 5 pounds reviewing this.
Perfect. I'm gonna review it every week. First is the winner is Lil Red 31. Says I hope this game is good. Good. Yeah. Well, good. You're in luck. It is. Second one is from STG Stone Tower Games. Excellent. Number 3 is Roy Al Witchies.
Oh, I love it.
Oh no! Did I say
Royale
something?
with cheese.
Yeah.
Royale with cheese.
Yeah, I love it.
The second
That's
AJ laughed,
fantastic.
I was like, "What did I just say out loud? Was it offensive?"
I'm calling for Mike
That's-
Hunt. Is Mike Hunt in the building?
Right?
Oh man,
I've seen enough
Royale
Simpsons
with
episodes to know that.
That's
Yeah.
what was it? Pulp Fiction? Was it Pulp Fiction where they're having the discussion about how in UK the Whopper or something's called the Royale with cheese? I think
Yeah,
is what
that's
it was.
Pulp Fiction. It's
Yeah.
him and Sam Jackson.
Fantastic
sitting in
movie.
the car.
Ah,
God.
so good.
So congratulations to all 10 of the winners. Holy crap! I think it's the biggest
Wow.
giveaway we've ever done in 1 week. So congratulations
huge.
to you
Yeah.
all. I will be doing my best to get you all everything. Hopefully, right after this show. Sometimes it takes me a couple hours though, so hang tight. And congratulations to everybody.
The exciting thing about this giveaway actually was that a lot of the people were here in the chat. Like I saw at least 1 or 2 of them, which
Oh,
is
nice.
rare that somebody actually is there to be like, "Oh, I got one. Cool." I think Kyle Connect, yeah, caught it live. He said,
Awesome.
and then also a lot of names that I recognize.
Bam.
Starting
Alright.
to see the IOs in the chat.
Yep. It's okay, guys. It's okay. Anytime we crash, it's actually all on OBS at this point.
So YouTube keeps the stream running in the background and just stitches it together when you get back in.
Yeah, that's like as much as I hate all the new things that YouTube does, that is one thing that the new stuff actually does really well. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on with OBS, man. I can't even switch videos, switch trailers sometimes without going, I don't know what to do, and crash. It's like, God
Well,
damn.
did you download the latest version? Because it's been telling me to, but ever since you told me you had issues, I haven't installed the latest version. I just keep putting it off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the latest version. I might have to revert to the last one because I wasn't having any problems with the last one.
That's honestly, that's what I think it is because it happened around the same time you said that stuff. So,
I love.
Are we back?
Oh no, we've been back.
Oh, we've been back. I thought we
yeah.
were having a behind-the-scenes conversation.
Oh no! I get us back as fast as possible.
I was going to talk a bunch of shit about Roy Schwartz, but since
Oh wow, okay,
since we're back, I won't.
that's interesting.
No, you don't talk about Roy. You don't talk about my boy Blue.
Bag of ham.
So guys, moving on. Congrats to all the winners. So awesome. Thank you guys for, of course, and congrats Brian for hitting 70,000. That is awesome. The road to 100K continues. Definitely gonna be covering PS5 by that point.
Yeah.
So
we're going to be covering PS5 by 71K.
yeah, right. So guys, there has been an update to the trophy system for all you trophy hunters out there. I can now include Brian as part of this trophy hunter thing. Actually, he's gotten more platinums than I have lately. I've kind of taken a back seat to platinums.
Oh, you just wait, my
lately.
friend. You just wait. I got some more platinums on the way. I am 30 minutes from platinuming Swordsman. I am.
Oh shit! Wow.
Oh yeah, and I'm definitely gonna one of these Saturdays. I'm gonna blast through Onslaught and get that trophy because it's just not hard. I'm like it's just gonna take some time.
Yeah, I mean it's mostly just going back through and playing the game again on hard, right? Isn't
That's
that, like,
exactly
the beauty of
it. Yeah, and I've already beaten a bunch of the levels on veterans, so it's
not even that hard. Yeah.
nope.
Well, anyways, they've refined the trophy system. Now you get a trophy for the amount of trophies you have. It's very confusing. They basically increased the cap. Originally, you would get to level 100 would be the max. Now they expand it to 999.
Whoa.
But now
Yes.
hold on. Did they expand the cap? Because when I was reading about it before the show, I was very confused. It sounds like
They converted it.
They've converted it. So
Right.
basically, if you're
Oh.
level 25 now, you might be level 300. Right? Like,
But
so,
if you were level 100 before, are you level 999 now? Or
right. So it doesn't.
does that
That's
It
the
would take a
problem.
lot. It would take a long way to get there. I wish I would have taken note. I think I was level like 24, and now I'm level 372.
Oh, it's
So
already
I gotta check.
happened.
My level's probably really low. I don't think. Well, I have no platinums, so
Here, I'm definitely
rank
bringing up
4 or
my.
yeah, I'm gonna check. Are you doing it online or?
I don't know.
Can you do that?
Can I do it? It's
From
mine.
my
Mine
sense-
still says level 34 on the PC. Yeah,
I'm
my
turning on my PS4 now.
I have 42 platinums.
So
Yes.
you should be like level 400 something.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, I
Most
don't know.
likely.
I don't know. Maybe it updates on my. Was there a system update that did this, or it's just on their back end?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just checking on my. I pulled up my Elgato on my computer and I looked at it, but it doesn't actually make a huge difference anymore. But or it doesn't make like a huge difference in any way. But it's just reorganized basically.
Excellent. I'm not.
So
I'm here. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, I think we're all turning on our PS4s to look. So an interesting question is, does this have anything to do? Do you think they redesigned the whole trophy system for PS5 and they're just like getting ahead of it? So, because like Brian said he thinks it. Yeah. Well, and the other thing that makes me wonder is like if the UI is so secret they can't show off anything and they're redoing trophies. I hope to God there's like a place in VR you can go and look at your wallet trophies and like and invite your friends over and be like, bro, you have so many trophies. I feel weird being here because you're too good at game.
So we have 2 donations to get to real quick. Wonder Rob with the $5 donation says, "Can you buy PS5 now, or is there no more this year?"
Pretty much out for now. Keep checking. But
I think what they're going to randomly probably pop up somewhere, but I think every now and then something's going to pop up. But mostly it's going to get harder and harder. They were dropping on different retailers left and right. But yeah. Also, we have Retro Demo Scene with the £5 donation. Says concurrent PSVR games like No Man's Sky / Squadrons look much cleaner on PS5 via current headset. How much can PS5 push old PSVR headset via patch?
Via patch, a ton.
Via patch,
a
yes.
ton. If you patch your old PlayStation 4 VR game for PlayStation 5, I think the thing I always use, the metric I always use is this: Job Simulator has no blur, right? It's super sharp. All the edges are clear. It doesn't have a lot of texture work, and that's why you take something like Resident Evil 7, that's like kind of on the blurry side, but like has a ton of texture work, or you take something like No Man's Sky that has a lot going on and it's like super blurry. PlayStation 5 should be able to render everything at the Job Simulator resolution, but with all those textures in place. And so basically take the resolution of something like Job Simulator and take the look of something like Resident Evil 7, smash them together. And as far as layman's term goes, I think that's the closest analogy I can make to what a PlayStation 5 patch could do for these games. We'll just see if developers care enough to do that, though.
I think, like I said, my 2 big ones that I want to see first and foremost are Dreams and No Man's Sky. I would love for those, especially No Man's Sky. That would be huge to get a thing. What's going on there? What are you guys looking at?
Looking at our trophy scores.
I'm trying to figure out how I see what my rank is. I don't even know what my rank is.
Wait,
it says I'm syncing right now. Where do you go to see what your actual rank is with the hundreds or whatever?
Just go to your trophies.
Yeah, if you just go over to your profile.
Is that the one with the star next to it? Is that your rank?
Yeah.
I'm 20. I have no platinums. I have 3,000 bronze.
20? Did yours update?
Yeah, I already did the thing where you sign in and update it. I'm sure it was lower before. Yeah, no, I have no platinums though.
No, but it can't be 20. 20 is like a normal level to be at. That can't be the converted. Mine still says 34, so I don't think it's updated yet.
Weird, because people were saying in the chat that it's. Did you get that prompt where you were signed out of PSN last time you tried to play?
Oh, that's
earlier today.
They were saying that's what did it. Once you did that, it readjusted your trophies after that. I mean, that might be a guess. I don't know if that's like true.
Yeah, I signed in again and it still hasn't updated. I think it's probably just going. Okay. It's probably a slow rollout, even throughout the course of a single region.
So do they give you props for having a shitload of silvers and bronzes?
No, you used to be able to sign up. This is what got me started into trophies was you used to be able to sign up and get points for earning platinum trophies. And these points you could get, it's PlayStationRewards.com, something like that. They got rid of that service though like a year ago. So it's really nothing but pride. And like I was telling Brian, my favorite thing about trophies is sometimes they show you things in the game where you otherwise wouldn't have noticed in the game. Like they stuff that could be missed, or little just funny, goofy things to discover in the game. Those are my favorite kinds of trophies. Techno Gatsby, the Game Cat says with the $5 donation, says post PS5 teardown, seeing panels that come off like a 360 faceplate. PS5 special edition idea you'd most like to own in the future.
Astrobot face, where there's LEDs, blue LEDs behind the eyes, and they light up. Just Astrobot on the side of my PS5. That's what I want.
Yeah.
You guys?
I don't know. This is tough because the second you said that, it made me think of my my Pikachu N64.
Yeah.
But I was like, what's the comparable PlayStation analogy to that?
Astrobot. He's our Pikachu, guys.
I guess. I want something dark and scary though, man. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Resident Evil Village would be a good one.
Castle. I would like the Book of the Dead from Evil Dead.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. There you go.
Or I'd want two side panels with two big muscly arms that like hold the PS5 like up,
like Strong Bad, looking like Strong Bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like holding it off the ground.
Or
Yeah.
wasn't that the Burninator?
Like
I guess that was the
push-ups.
Burninator.
The Burninator. Oh man. Does anybody even know Strong Bad anymore?
Oh, some people in here know Strong. There's people who are older than us. So,
I said consummate
somebody knows
V's.
Strong Bad.
Consummate V's. Sorry. Good stuff, guys. Now that we're talking about this stuff and sort of talking about like PlayStation 5 speculation a little bit, especially with the trophy list changing, I would love to see them kind of like overhaul the PlayStation Store. But also one of the things that a lot of the cats, because dude, if you're new to Without Parole, all right. Or maybe if you haven't joined the Discord and you have no idea what our community is like, our community is insanely nice. Cool. They give games to each other like constantly, right? It's like I was talking to some of the cats and they're like, oh yeah, this person bought me Squadrons. Oh, this person bought me this. This person and it's just like this ongoing, like, when you go through a drive-through and they're like, oh, the person in front of you bought your coffee for you, right? You're like, pay it forward. They're like, okay, well, I'll buy the guy's donut behind me then, fine. It's like that in our community, and it's crazy to keep hearing it over and over and over. But it would be so much better on PlayStation 5 if you could just actually gift games to each other instead of sending PSN cards. I want that gift service as part of PlayStation 5. That'd be great. Be like, I think you would love Beat Saber here, instead of being like, here's a $30 PSN gift card. This is just much more personal. It's like, I want to give you this game. How great would that be?
Oh, that would be incredible. I mean, I think that's been a long-term. So the two things they need to take from Steam's marketplace are that and a legitimate refund policy. I hope to God they give us a legitimate refund policy on PS5, because it's just, compared to PC, like, I can play 40 minutes of a game and decide there is no way this is worth my $30. And like 3 times a month, I can say, hey, just give me my money back. And they're like, yeah, sure. PlayStation, you have to fight tooth and nail, man. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've never successfully gotten a refund on PlayStation Network. I've tried twice.
Happened once.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dude was like trying to tell me that like I didn't. It was one of them was for Boxing Apocalypse, and I was like, dude, he was trying to tell me, he's like, oh well, have you tried like turning off your PSVR headset and turning it back on? have you tried the eye distance thing? And I was like, dude, you're not listening to me. I have played every PlayStation VR game in the world. Yeah, I didn't go there because that would just be fucking.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not that guy, right? I'd rather like let's not have that conversation. Yeah. And I was like, dude, no, trust me, I understand. I know I've done everything. This has nothing to do with the headset itself. Boxing Apocalypse is trash. It's terrible. Like, please, I'm asking for a refund. I bought hundreds and hundreds of PSVR games, and they're like, well, it's like since you started it, can't do it. And I'm like, I don't think that's the policy.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it is. Well, who knows what the fucking policy is?
I got Dream Match Tennis refunded, and I got Werewolves Within refunded.
What?
I bought Werewolves Within refunded?
You got 2 decent games refunded, and I couldn't get Boxing.
I bought them again.
Wait, what was your reasoning?
Both again? Oh,
I did buy them both again for less.
What was your reasoning though? Like, what did you tell them in order to get the refund?
I said, I'm PSVR Underground, motherfuckers.
He swung his big VR pick around. He said, get out of my way, Sony rep. Laid it down on the virtual chat table and was like,
that's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
No, it was
you
much different. But
got lucky.
all right, guys, we have a bunch of news to talk about. There are a bunch of new games and stuff. This is something that Brian added last second. So Brian, I'm going to let you lead this one.
You made your own bed, Brian.
Yeah, no, you're going to have to lead this one.
Listen,
and
if
tell
there's-
us a little bit about it.
If there's one bed that I could make to sleep in, it's going to be this one. And that is that very recently, oh my God, it's like just work. Very recently, we got an announcement that Blair Witch Project, the game, the thing that was like, it came to Switch and every other console on the face of the planet recently, they've said this is coming to Quest. You're getting a Quest VR version of the Blair Witch Project by Bloober, who, if you guys know this already, they made Layers of Fear. They actually even made like a Layers of Fear VR game. So they've got a little bit of experience with this, and on top of that, they're like, it's going to be coming to Quest. And I was like, oh man, it's like, just can you please just tell us it's coming to PlayStation VR as well? And there was no word about it anywhere. And I don't know why. Like it seemed to be they were very focused on the Quest and like they weren't talking about anything else. But you go to a site like Engadget and they're like, oh, and also it's coming to other headsets very soon, like soon after.
I think that Upload VR said that too, I think.
So yeah, so it seems like this we should be getting this game. What sucks is that here we are, as soon as October rolls around, we go, fingers crossed, man, what horror games are we getting to celebrate the season? Like this would be the perfect time for Folia Dear Father. It'd be the perfect time for Blair Witch. But then it's just like silence. So Quest is getting it this Halloween. I think it's coming on the 29th. It's $30. And that's fantastic for them. But if it's coming soon after to PlayStation VR, I'm like, oh man, you just missed the season. I'm happy for horror games all year round, but it sucks that we couldn't get it a little bit sooner. Is something you're excited for?
But I guess I would say, like, what's the word? With reservations, because I know it is basically sort of a VR remake or kind of a changed up version of the existing Blair Witch game that came out not too long ago. And that game itself was not that well received. It's pretty mixed reviews. I haven't heard anybody come out and be like, I love this new Blair Witch game.
I mean,
but
just a heads up, IGN gave it an 8.8.
Wait, the Blair Witch game?
Yeah.
What?
Yep, they said Blair Witch is one of the most successful, terrifying horror games I've ever played. More so than any of the Amnesia games, it made me feel like I've been dragged feet first through hell by the end. Discovering Alice's troubled past, often relatable demons, made him grounded in each eerie and excruciating frightful moment personal. Some technical errors and poor feedback about progress on optional objectives aside, it's excellently constructed from the tops of the trees to the depths of its madness. If you're as much of a glutton for punishment when it comes to horror games as I am, you definitely won't want to pass this one up. That's one review.
That's fair. That's what. Do we trust IGN that much? Because the Metascore is 69, the user score is 6.4, which to me doesn't indicate an excellent game. It's a mixed game. 6.4 is a mixed game. Yeah. And it doesn't look like a review bomb because 6.4 is close to 69. No. So I think that's an accurate score. I think IGN goes too far sometimes and they underrate games sometimes. So I don't really, that's not my go-to, but it's good that somebody liked it. I just hadn't heard that much good stuff about it. So I'm hoping that we get that sort of VR bump that we always talk about. Everything's better in VR. And then it'll become sort of a more redeeming experience. But we'll see. Like, I'm actually curious if anybody's played the actual, like the flat one. Who knows what we're looking forward to here? Because I don't really know much about it other than that it's got mixed reviews. That's it.
Well, just to give you a heads up, Paranormal Activity on Metacritic has a 6.5 user score.
You're talking about the VR game?
Yeah. And so,
well, you like it more than most people.
Oh, do I? I thought that one was pretty much universally enjoyed.
No, you do. I think you do.
It's good. It's good. I'd say it's a 7.
It's a 7?
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'd give it more than that, but I like horror games probably too much.
Well, it was fantastic on Halloween when I played it. It was amazing on Halloween, but it's not like a game year round that I think would be really good.
Well, then only play it on Halloween and give it a better score.
There you go.
This is my Halloween score.
I don't like this game at
Halloween reviews.
I don't like this game at noon. I only like it at night. All right. So yeah, so it's good to know that that's actually coming. It was one of those where I was like, oh come on, man, just what's happening over there? It's like we need to get this. And I was like, oh, as it turns out, we are getting this. But the messaging is certainly focused on the Oculus Quest at the moment.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys.
Thank you, Josh. I agree. Thank you, Sasuke. I agree. I'm just gonna call out everybody who agrees with me.
Yeah, Secret says, I agree.
Damn it.
I said, I mean, it's good, man. I said it's good. What's wrong with good? Good is good.
No, it's good. I mean, certainly not phenomenal, but it's good. Yeah, for sure. All right. So did that cover enough Blair Witch?
Yeah, I think we got it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So there is a brand new game that is being submitted to Sony pretty soon. And I think is it Jay Nelly was talking with these guys on Twitter, and I happened to pick up the conversation. And it is a game by Zatoon called Down and Out, and it says, "Think now. Take this with a grain of salt, but it says think of GTA 5 free roaming plus Creed and Borderlands art." And it says Down and Out is a VR game in which a player is a homeless person fighting to survive on the streets of the city. The goal is to be the richest and meanest person in the neighborhood and reach max reputation. The player gets 6 tasks, but can also do various free roam activities around the city, which are a part of experiencing what people living on the streets go through in their lives. I really do like the art style of this game, and it seems like they do say that there's like supposed to be a lot to interact with. What's up, Dave?
I'm looking at this website. So first of all, where are these guys from? Because a lot of this speaks to me, first of all, looking at their PR stuff of like people who maybe come from a different culture. One of the mechanics in this game is bum fighting. They're talking about bum fighting. Enemies will spawn, but you're like fighting bums. And I'm like, that's kind of in poor taste. Why speak out that like as a feature, like it's a cool thing? But it's also like, it says, I don't know, the description just rubs me the wrong way. The goal is to be the richest and meanest person in the neighborhood and reach max reputation. The game takes a comical approach. Well, I don't know.
It's like Saints Row. Like, did you ever play Saints Row?
But it feels like
Grand Theft Auto. Like, people like this kind of game too.
And it looks like really silly to me.
Look at the video. Look at the video.
I don't know if we should be comparing it to something like Saints Row.
Saints Row is definitely huge.
This seems like a much smaller game.
Right.
With, like focusing on like mini games with a little bit to do. It kind of reminds me of Summer Funland, right? Where it's like you've got this big area to walk around in and some stuff to do in that area, but then then the real focus is on like the mini games that you enter into.
All I'm saying is, here's what I'm scrolling through the screenshots, right? And the final one that they have on their website is you with a bat moving towards a midget gangster. I'm talking, this is not a joke. I'm looking at all the other people in the scene. He is designed as a midget gangster who you're fighting against as part of these bum fights, and you're beating him up with a bat.
You don't like
to me, that's
gangsters?
in poor taste. I think that's in poor taste. I don't know. It just seems like
it looks like that's one of the main characters of the game because they have those same characters.
Okay.
That doesn't look like.
I demand midget representation in games. That's like saying I can't believe one of the gang members is black because oh no, that means it's making fun of black people.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Dude.
I mean,
like,
do I? Though?
There are games too. There are a lot of things in the past that have been in super poor taste that go out of their way to be like, haha, midgets, haha, this. Like even games like Saints Row and stuff like that are in pretty fucking poor taste a lot of the time.
I mean, this could be in poor taste. I just don't see it yet. I just don't see it yet.
You don't see it?
It's
got bum fights.
So this is
mechanic bum fights.
Now look at the quest. So it says quest. These are like some of the different quests they have. They have a quest system. Quest 1, don't let them hurt you. It says the player will have to punch/destroy the objects that enemies are throwing at him, and will also be able to catch some items and use it as a defense, or can be thrown back at the enemies to knock them out. This quest idea is referred from the game box VR and Beat Saber. Quest 2, Hungry as Hell. The player will have to chase the food delivery guy, steal food from him, and try to fight against him and other people to try and escape from the area. Quest 3, Throw it in the bin. The player will have to collect trash from the roadside and throw it into the dustbin. See, that's cleaning up the environment, cleaning up litter. It's not completely in poor taste. Quest 4.
Go out of your way to defend this game that we know nothing about, other than it looks like it's in bad taste.
I just don't want to put it in that category until we absolutely know. We've seen bad translations from. companies who
PR materials just like me, bro. Like I don't know. It's fine. It's fine.
I don't know. I'm looking at the trailer. The trailer looks like it could be fun, but it's one of those. Again, it feels like Summer Funland. I'm like, I don't know how big this city is that you get to explore, and I think that's gonna have a lot to do with it because again, it seems a little too mini game focused for something that appears to have like kind of this open world, and so I'm a little bit confused to be honest about what the game actually is, even with all these descriptions.
The 5 quests that they call out are either 5 repeating styles of quests that you find throughout the world. I assume like, oh, here's a bum fight quest. Oh, here's a trash quest or whatever. And you see them on the map or something like that. Either that or there are only 5 quests in the game and you just do them all like that. But I doubt
I imagine it's not a very big game. We got 2 real quick donations. Glacius Streams with a $3 donation says, leaves dead bird on porch.
Oh, thank you for the gift.
Glacius. That's what the game cats do. And Richard Baki with the $5 donation says PSA Borderland has midgets. There are little things that little midget little people that jump out of chests.
Well, one of the things that I actually don't like about Borderlands that I have to force myself to get past to play it because it's a fun game and I like loot is that I think that game is in really poor taste. I think Borderlands has always been unfunny and it goes too hard in a direction of comedy that I don't like. And it's just like uncomfortable for me, but I like that's a personal thing. But it's like obvious too. Like they sort of revel in it. You know what I mean? It's part of their marketing. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't know. It's tough to go down these like down these paths, especially like I get it with Borderlands. I totally understand. Like I think it's funny. Like let's kill midgets or whatever. I mean, I don't even know. But this is I'm curious to see about this. What gets me is that Justin Credible says Summer Funland is giving it too much slack. This is Viking Days.
It could be.
I mean, it could be. But based on this trailer, it already looks better than Viking Days. That's
not big bar to overcome.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess when I saw this originally, I've got nothing against if you think it's in poor taste or not. I've got nothing against that. When I saw this, I saw him like punching garbage and stuff, and like just doing a bunch of random, weird, goofy stuff in the city. I didn't see these screenshots before, so I didn't like think I thought it was silly. Yes, but I know people sometimes like just random goofy stuff. They find it funny. They think it's really funny. So
I'm just expressing personal distaste. I'm not saying nobody will like this. I'm just saying, hey man, if anybody out there is like me, I'm looking at this thing and there's stuff that's probably you're not gonna like very much about it.
Parts of it looks as bad as Slumball, and then parts of it go, I look, oh,
right. I actually had very much a Slumball vibe.
The punching part is total Slumball. Yeah,
exactly. But then I'm seeing like right here what I'm watching. It's like the guy is like shooting hoops, and then he grabs a spray can, and he's like, and he's I was gonna say graffitiing the wall. How old am I? I'm like, oh, he looks like he's spraying. I don't know, Jesus.
It says a graffiti can. These are some of the free roam activities. Interact with various items in the city. It says like look in every mailbox and dumpster for loot. Our people have a wide array of things they can fiddle with. There are useful items, potential weapons, junk, and even rare collectibles, and randomly spawned every game day. They're randomly spawned every day. Poke and fight civilians in the city. The players will be able to poke random civilians in the city. Some will fight, retaliate, or run. That's like, very much sounds like a Grand Theft Auto mechanic. Store players can attempt to steal food from other people and food delivery guys, but they have to go into a store to buy the health syrup that restores their full health bar. Adding it to a lot of items in the store will be interactive. They can open packets of chips, drink Coca-Cola or drink cola and play around. Want to shoplift while you are there, get caught and pay a fine of $50. So play basketball, and then it says graffiti. There's like, graffiti cans will be available in a random corner of the city. So to me, like I said, I just see a lot of influence from other games in this one. And it seems like just what I liked about it was that it seems like it's taking that sandbox kind of environment thing and just adding interactive elements to it. That's what makes VR fun.
Well, so this actually brings up an interesting question that I was thinking about the other day. I was watching this no-clip documentary about the ESRB, right? And so they didn't talk about VR, but I started thinking, like, you got to rate things differently in VR because, like, Grand Theft Auto 5 is one thing, but if you put it in VR, that is a much, like, beating up strippers, like, first person, like people would react to it in a viscerally different way because it's more embodied. You are the character, you're doing this stuff, and it seems less silly and fun when it's that way. I don't know if you guys see where I'm coming from here, but like this is one of those things where like in Saints Row and whatever and stuff like that. But like if I'm in a game, we're using this expensive technology to caricaturize bum fights, and I'm a homeless guy. It just seems like I don't know.
So are you actually posing that question to us?
Well, it is. I mean, essentially, like, do you think a thing like this, if it's in VR, because we're justifying it by saying, oh, it was in Saints Row and it was in this other kind of game. But like, if I am physically taking a bat and beating up bums, and that's a mechanic, like, is that still okay in VR? That's my question. I feel like it's not the same. It doesn't feel the same to me.
I think there shouldn't be a difference between if it's in VR or flat screen. I think it's the same exact thing. I don't feel like there's a difference.
Then why are we playing VR, man? It's a much different experience. I don't agree with that.
I mean, it's a different experience. I don't think it should be rated differently.
But okay, fine.
I mean, the fact is you could make the case that Resident Evil 7 is going to cause someone post-traumatic stress, right? Because it's that intense, and for a lot of people, they can't even deal with it, right? So do we start saying, well, no, that's a fucking adults only now because you can't deal with it? It's like it's too intense for you. I'm sorry, it's still a game when it comes down to it, and unless there's like this crazy generational leap next gen that makes me forget that I'm playing a game. Then no, I think that games should continue to be rated the same in and out of VR.
So we should rate a game that's called like Hooker Puncher VR the same as like a normal game.
As like well, we should rate it the same as Hooker Puncher non-VR. Yes, we should rate it the exact same way.
All right.
I mean, it's VR just adds to the immersion, and I do
is what I'm referring to, but it's fine.
Right, and I hope that parents are smart, and it was like the ESRB can only do so much by saying here's the content in the game, right? That's their only goal, is to say, hey, this is the content in the game, and we're saying it's for mature adults. Most games are rated M because of all the violence and gore or whatever, and so then it's up to the parents at that point to say, listen, if you're fucking not 16 or 17 yet, maybe you shouldn't be playing this game, right? I don't think that things need to be rated stronger because it's VR.
Yeah, I mean, in Grand Theft Auto, you have sex with prostitutes, and in Gorn, which is a mix between gore porn. There's no hold on. Let me finish. There's no difference to me ripping off somebody's arm and like bone sticking out and ripping off their face and beating them with it. There's no difference to me between that and getting in a fight with a homeless person. Just personal.
Okay, I mean, if that's how you guys feel, I can't understand it, but that's fine, and we can move on.
Okay, I can understand your position, but but
I totally understand as well.
Yeah, it's all good. I just don't share that.
There's a lot of stuff in video games that is not politically correct. It's just a lot, and
most things.
Yeah,
just killing thousands of people, no matter how you look at it, is not politically correct.
Right. To me, it's just not the same. I can't say I'm super into this kind of thing, but like I said, what I liked about what I saw from this game was stuff like punching the garbage can or punching the trash, like the gaminess of it, not necessarily some of the concepts, but just some of the random things that it showed you doing is what I thought was cool.
Frank Bunny has an interesting take here. Anyone that doesn't like punching VR homeless people can go play Among Us or Fall Guys, some other child game. So that's fun. I'm sure that's a widely held opinion.
Well, I mean,
anyways, we could probably move on to side thing about this game.
This game might not even come to PSVR.
It's funny. I feel like the game almost I feel like these games almost self-regulate a little bit because VR can be pretty intense, and taking a bat to some NPC or something, it seems like it's that alone would make you go, man, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem like something I should be doing, right? And so if you are sensitive to these things, like a lot of people aren't sensitive to video games or different elements of video games. You could walk around Grand Theft Auto and kill hookers for hours, right? You could do that, and most people would just be like, "Oh, it's just a game. It's silly. It's dumb. Whatever." But you do that in VR, I think people would be like, "Oh, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem like I should be doing this."
What I'm trying to
But
say.
that's what I'm saying. This is the slant that I'm taking on it. Is that it's more of a self-regulation thing where they go, this isn't actually something I want to do in VR because it feels wrong, on a flat screen. But that's as far as I go with that.
All right.
Is it time to move on from this game?
It is time to move on.
All right.
But it was a nice conversation. Nice conversation. All right. So coming from Road to VR, the Walking Dead Onslaught developer Survios secures 16.7 million funding. And he says Survios, the studio behind the Walking Dead Onslaught, Creed, Rise to Glory, Raw Data, and don't forget Sprint Vector, Road to VR. I love Sprint Vector. Has secured another round of financing to the tune of 16.17 million. This news was first reported by VentureBeat. Survios' latest round brings the company's overall funding to 70.9 million, with its most recent Series C bringing in the lion's share of 50 million back in late 2016. Actually, Ben Lang, one of the head of Road to VR, tweeted about this too and said, "Big news, which means that one of VR's most veteran game studios will continue to exist, with recent releases seeing mixed reception. I hope there's a creative shakeup that will see the studio return to form." Ben, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, this is I think we've sort of gone around and around about how much the reason that maybe the Walking Dead Onslaught wasn't as good as it should have been, or why it was not good. But I mean, honestly, I think they need to get out of the licensed game.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the kind of I can't say a decrease in quality because Battle Wake is still kind of middling for them, and it's not an IP, and it came out in the same time frame. But their best games were not IP associated. The first few that they came out with were just brand new stuff, and they killed it.
Yeah, if AMC didn't have their hands all over Onslaught, and if AMC didn't see what was happening with Saints and Sinners and go, we want that in our game, like I would be totally shocked, right? And so it's just like a bunch of people who don't make video games trying to decide what happens, trying to dictate what happens with people who do make video games. So I think if Survios was left to their own devices, I think it could have been a good game. But we'll see.
So you think the money brought too many cooks into the kitchen?
Absolutely.
Very possible.
Basically.
Okay. Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, that makes sense.
So
the Preacher Plays, my dude, Brian's mortal enemy, says, "Gotta say I'm not happy with how quickly the public turned on Survios after Walking Dead. They basically only made one big dud." So I've brought this up a couple times. First of all, let it be known that I have the utmost respect for Survios. They still are, and it's not one big dud. I actually feel like their games have had a drop off in quality the last couple releases. Starting with Creed, it was huge. Like, I loved Raw Data after they got the bugs fixed. I loved Sprint Vector, and I really, really liked Electronauts. I have a lot of respect for this company. I think they're very, very talented. That being said, their games have been falling downhill, going down the cliff a little bit for me, like with Battle Wake being really, really fun, but like a puddle deep. And then what was the other thing? Creed's multiplayer was kind of messed up for me. Creed I thought was okay. I love the concept of it and stuff. And then this came out, and I tried to give some credit to Survios for, what did we say about Battle Wake? We said, I wish they made this into a game. And to me, I have a ton of respect for what Survios tried to do here, in that this was not just some cheap arcade, experience that kind of just didn't have much to it. I thought they really tried hard. I just don't think they were very successful in what they were trying to accomplish with this game. And I think they ran into some issues for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's I still don't think it's a terrible game. You know, a lot of people right off the bat were like, "This is fucking garbage," and I'm like, I mean, I played the crap out of that game, and I still thought it, you know, it deserved over a 6. I forget what I gave it, 6.2, 6.4. I forget. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Numerical scores are bullshit. We all know this. Why we keep focusing on this garbage? I totally agree with AJ. You know, here we are. We're like praising Sin Studio for giving us Swordsman when they basically delivered 3 really underwhelming. I mean, like more underwhelming
Really
than
bad
Onslaught by far. And here we are. We bought 3 games, and now here's the 4th game, and we're like, oh sweet, they finally did it. This is great. You know, it's a good redemption story. It's a good and we love that. But we also love to shit on, you know, when things go wrong. And as gamers, I think we're quick to forgive as well. So I think when Survios releases their next game and it's awesome, we just kind of look at Onslaught like a misstep. And I mean the best I can hope for right now with Survios, right now, is that they keep patching Onslaught to prove to gamers that they do care and that this is something they want, a mistake that they want to fix. I don't have really any negative feelings about them for one big misstep.
Yeah, and one thing Justin's bringing up that we didn't talk about much, and we don't really think too much about this because it's not in PSVR ecosystem, but the Westworld game that they made was very well received. Justin is saying he thinks it's one of their best ones.
Nice.
Focused, polished, complete. And that is one that's based on an IP, so I don't think we can exactly say that they should totally ditch that, although I initially agreed with you on that, because in recent times they have released a very solid one. And honestly, one of their best next moves could just be to port that to PSVR. Like, they've already got it in the can. People like it. Maybe work on getting that ready to go, kind of rehabilitate the image a little bit with a game that everybody likes. That's also based on a big TV show.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Yeah, but, you know, just big congratulations to Survios here. I really hope this gives them the resources that they need to kind of turn this around because, yeah, like I said, I didn't like the game. I didn't like Onslaught pretty much at all. But I do love Survios to death. I love they're still one of my favorite developers. And absolutely, and I think they're huge. They're like extremely talented. There's going to be a nice little theme tonight, actually. Now that you mention it, there's going to be, you know, we were talking about how these guys are maybe on the trending downward. I think this will be a good opportunity for them to get back in the game and get stuff, you know, for PSVR. Anyways, I understand the Westworld thing might have been cool. But there's going to be a couple other games we talk about tonight that are actually maybe starting to turn things around. And it's going to be cool to talk about as well, to see the opposite end of the spectrum. This thing, it's ebbs and flows, man.
Apologies to Wonder Rob. I don't think we mentioned his donation. It's $5. He says, "Thank you, Dave." This was back on the Down and Out discussion. He says, there is a line of hateful we can draw, but likely we will just have to vote with our money. I am sensitive to cruelty in these games. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, people can call me an SJW in the comments. That's fine. I'm just saying there are people out there who feel this way. I'm one of them. Yeah. Don't have to make a political debate out of it.
Sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, then Boy Brown says, but AJ, how many of their games are in your top 25? I tried to get Sprint Vector in the top 25 at one point. In my personal top 25, I mean, probably Raw Data and Sprint Vector might be. Sprint Vector would definitely be in my personal top 25, I think. But yeah.
It is so tough, man. Raw Data and Sprint Vector have made previous top 20 lists on Without Parole. And they were really great games, and they still are really great games. But it's just fucking tough, man. The competition is so hard right now that Survios, who makes these, I think Dave called them, 7 to 8 range games. I would say maybe a little bit higher, like 8 range games for sure.
7.5, 8.5 is where I put them usually.
Perfect. I agree with that 100%. So they, so a lot of the times when sometimes when an 8.5, which I would definitely give to Sprint Vector, around that to Raw Data. It's like when those aren't making top 25 lists, that just shows how difficult the competition is, man. It's like it is. So many of our favorite games don't make that list.
Even the next top 25 list is going to be. There's going to be some new games on there, I bet.
Upset.
Yeah, I'm not. It's going to be great, man.
My Ride or Die is still going to be Immortal Legacy. That game's getting on that fucking list. I don't care.
I think, yeah, at some point or another, I'm going to have a new one. I think I did this time. But yeah, So, anyways, moving on now. A game. This is gonna be interesting to talk about. I'm gonna sound like a complete hypocrite here. But Twilight Path has gotten a release date for October 27th. It is coming out this month. It is by Charm Games, the same people that made Form.
So
And from what I've read in Steam reviews, it's basically like a little bit fancier, reskinned version of Form. The puzzles are very similar in style and not too complex, is what I've heard. But it's supposed to look good. Everyone says it looks really good.
It does actually look really good. That is one thing I'll give it. It actually does look a lot better than Form, which I thought looked pretty decent. I watched Ryan from the VR Grid, his review on this back a while ago, and you know, the truth is, he said the one thing that made me go, ugh, and that was it was really short and really easy, and I was like, that's like the big problem I had with Form, and I like SB says I preferred Form personally. Oof.
interesting.
I did a review on my Patreon last night of a bunch of games that I missed, and one of those like just a rapid fire like written review, and I gave Form I think a 5.8.
Yeah.
I did not like it.
Yeah, I love the experience of Form personally. I thought it felt really good to play. I thought the audio visual experience was awesome. It's just everything about that sort of worked for me. The puzzles were, again, I think we've said it over and over. It felt like putting a square peg in a square hole. It was like preschool stuff. It was just like, it's not going to ever challenge you, but the experience of doing it was enjoyable to me. So seeing something like that sort of reinvented and redone in a fantasy setting, to me, I'm like, all right, I'm curious to see what this is all about.
One of you guys described it as like those toys
Things
that
in
kids
the
play with.
doctor's office. Yes.
Slide one piece on a wire to the other side, and there's like no other way you can do it.
Although watching you play it drunk, Dave, was too much, because you're like, this is so easy, And then it's like 10 minutes later, you're still on the same puzzle. I was like, perfect.
Nick the
That's
Game
why
Cat How. I actually gave it a 5.6 on my review, and I said, looks nice, cool sci-fi atmosphere, but the puzzles are way too easy. Like, fit the triangle into the empty triangle space easy, and it's really short too. Would not recommend. Sorry, guys.
Who are you apologizing to? I don't give a fuck if you liked it or not.
Hopefully, Form Games, who is not listening. I hope that they're not listening, because I feel bad every time I say something bad. I do think that this was the thing. This game came out like years ago, and I do think if this was one of my first VR experiences, I think I would have liked it a little bit more, because I would just still be in shock of, wow, like this is what VR looks like. This is like, but I'm just way beyond that by this point. And stuff like this just doesn't impress me.
Yeah, VR experiences have even come a long way in the last couple of years. With we said Bonfire. Bonfire is I think a lot of people would be quick to put this and Bonfire in the same category, but like Bonfire just feels and looks so good, and just like it gives like a unique experience that like you don't get from other games or other experiences. So I like to keep thinking in my head, I'm kind of done with VR experiences, but then something like Bonfire comes along, and I'm like, oh, actually, it turns out I'm still totally down for good VR experiences. So they've come a long way, and if this hasn't really kept up with the times and pace, then we'll see. I'm not judging it yet, though.
You always keep in mind when you're looking at it, reviews for a game that's coming now to PSVR that came out 2 or 3 years ago on PC. What was a 9 in 2018 is not a 9 in 2020, like Brian was saying. So, just keep an eye out, see how it goes.
Yeah, like I said, I do think this looks aesthetically better than Form. I like the whole fantasy look about it and stuff, but yeah, if it's more just connect the dots and puzzles like that, then I'm just not going to enjoy it.
Yeah. What was the date of this? Do you have that handy?
The 27th for Twilight Path.
All right. Excellent.
Nick the Game Cat How says, what is Without Parole's top puzzle games? Or does Without Parole have a top puzzle games? Zing and Transpose for me, I think.
Static.
Yeah, I want to say Zing.
Static.
Yeah, Static might be top of my list, which is crazy because again, it's so hard to get on the top 25 list that it doesn't even make it every time. So But yeah, Static is definitely one of my favorites.
There's also a bunch of cool puzzle games in Dreams. I can't remember what it's called, but there's some really good ones in Dreams that people made.
Wonder Rob is in chat saying like Red Matter, and I'm like, I don't even think of Red Matter as a puzzle game, but it is. And so that is, when you start looking at like something that steps away from this is just puzzle after puzzle after puzzle, and it's like actually puzzles along the way during an adventure. There's just so many more that we could talk about for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like Room of Dark Matter. I don't know if you guys mentioned that.
Yeah, Room Dark Matter.
It's an escape room game, kind of an exploratory adventure sort of thing, but also totally a puzzle game. I mean, you could not call that a puzzle game.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's what about The Room? I think we all like The Room, right?
Absolutely, I loved it.
Yep, The Room is actually another one of my favorites. Again, it sucks, man. I think my big problem with The Room is when I look back at it, I go, man, there's only really like 3 levels here. It's like,
there's like that, and you can't replay it. There's nothing. There's no like secret side stuff to go discover.
No alternate solutions or anything, and that's the one thing that kills it. I loved the Room VR Dark Matter at launch, and it's like, yeah, I tried to replay it once to capture some footage for review, and immediately I was like, this just, I lost all interest. It's a great game the first time though.
Yes, it is. Really fun. All right, so moving on. So there's another game that actually I think came out today, I want to say. At least the embargo lifted on it. And it is a battle royale in VR. And I'm hearing raving things about it. People are raving about this game. And it is called Population 1. And I know Justin Credible's in the chat. Justin Credible, please feel free to leave a couple comments about what you're so ecstatic about this game for, because I'd love to know. But yeah, I have played. I've never been a big battle royale person until I played Rec Royale and Rec Room, the free game, and I had a lot of fun with it. Where you basically are dropped into a big open world area. You go around looting real quick and trying to get like the best loadout, the best like look for legendary weapons and stuff. And then you have a squad of 3, and two of your or basically if all 3 of your teammates go down, then your team is eliminated. And if like one or 2 of your teammates go down, then you can tag them back up again, and you have to kind of like fend off the other players.
So this looks goddamn cool. Like I'm looking at these just on the Steam page. They've got a few GIFs showing off the gameplay footage. Picture like a battle royale, but you can fly, climb, create structures, and then climb on them and like shoot over the edge. It looks like there's a lot of really cool like VR first mechanics here. Like just the idea of these dudes climbing up a skyscraper and then jumping off and shooting at people from the air like hang gliding looks pretty goddamn cool. This is definitely not coming to PSVR anytime soon by the looks of it. But have you heard anything specific?
Let me pull up the thing. I did hear a couple people saying. Let me see here. I think there was one from Upload. There was one from somebody else saying that they basically said themselves that they definitely. Here we go. From my dude Max Ledroom on Twitter says the study blah blah blah. They said that they will have a version of PSVR. Sounds like they said something along the lines of we are definitely going to be bringing this. Trying to port this to PSVR. I'll pull up the actual article so I can like do an actual quote here.
Yeah, this is what I love, right? Where we're at right now as far as VR is concerned, because you would like a couple years ago, like probably even like 2 years ago, people would have looked at this and been like, absolutely fucking not. Like the last time I was at PAX, I saw all these games that involved flying or racing or whatever, and my first question, of course, was, what's the possibility you're going to get this into VR or PSVR specifically? And every single one of these flat screen developers is like, well, if we want to make the player throw up, it sounds like a great idea. But like,
yeah,
right.
Course.
And so then you look at a game like this, it does involve everything you said, flying and climbing and jumping and whatever, and just running through the streets and killing. I mean, again, a couple of years ago, no one would have even tried this in VR. But now it's like, this is perfect. This is what we all want. Like, this is we're excited for it. It's like, if it's going to make me a little bit queasy when I jump off a ledge and then fly, even better. Because I want that feeling of jumping off the ledge and feeling the, I was going to break into the wind beneath my wings, but that would be terrible, and I apologize for even thinking of it. So,
I mean, it's not the first time we've all broken into songs.
No.
You know,
Definitely a big part of the show for sure.
So it's coming out for PC and Quest October 22nd, and they basically said that this is from Upload VR. Says Population One devs definitely have plans to bring VR battle royale shooter to PSVR as well. They've been developing this game. I remember hearing a little bit about this for the last I almost feel like it was last 2 years. I've been hearing a little bit of stuff about this game, so they've been developing this for a while, and it sounds like just they finally are starting to do it. But yeah, I've been hearing lots of good things, and I'm seeing lots of comments in the chat about it being really fun.
Yeah, I wish I had seen before this discussion the article you're talking about where it says definitely have plans to bring it to PSVR.
Well,
that's awesome.
I love when one of the lead platforms is Quest, right? Because that makes me go, oh, well, this is not a problem at all. It's going to be an easy port over to PSVR because it's so much more powerful. Not a problem.
My thing is, and I hate to be the guy, but
you can be the guy. I'll be the girl.
Motion or sticks or the control analog sticks, whatever. New controllers. I can't imagine that we wouldn't be at a huge disadvantage if there was cross-platform.
There is cross-platform on this.
So, I gotta say, we would be at a huge disadvantage. I would want to play PSVR only because guys on PC would just, mobility-wise, in a thing like that where it's competitive, that's when I think it does matter. Like if I'm playing a single-player game, I'm not that worried about it. Until You Fall doesn't need to have smooth locomotion and.
What if it has aim support?
Aim support, yes. Oh, you just did it. But how you climb and shit? That's the thing. Half of it is like climbing up walls, and that kills the whole.
And then bar over bar stuff like that too.
We need both. We need the triggers here, and we need the sticks to pull this off. So hopefully that means that they're designing it for a system that already has those sticks that they have a dev kit for, or something like that. We'll see. We got 2 big tips to take care of here, guys.
First one is from Donatello, the scientist game cat, with a $20 donation. Thank you so much, man. He says, before I get out of here, just want to thank Brian, Dave, and AJ for their passion for PSVR and keeping all of us up to date about all things PSVR. Love you guys. Love you too, Donnie. And I love PSVR as well.
Thank you very much. Next one comes to us from Hugh Guyver with the Australian $10 saying PSVR without parole for life. Pizza, pizza, pizza. Money, money, money. Cousin Max says hi. We say hi right back. Thank you so much, Hugh Guyver. We appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. What up? Hugh Guyver. Shout out to your cousin Mac.
Oh, man. Yeah, this looks fantastic. I'm curious to see when it'll come to PlayStation VR. I'm curious to see if it'll, like I said, I just said the PlayStation 4 is more than capable of handling it. If the Quest is capable of handling it, I'm wondering though if it'll be a PlayStation 5 title instead.
It seems like it most likely would. If you want some early impressions on this, I didn't get to finish the video because I kind of ran out of time, but shout out to Rendered Reality, those guys over there. They did a little discussion on it, and I started listening to it, and they seemed really excited about it, and they gave off some nice some information about it. So yeah, if you're interested on some early impressions, maybe go check out that video from them.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if I can get it on the beta, because I know people in chat who are playing it are in on the beta right now. If somebody can send me a DM on Discord or Twitter or whatever, hook me up. How do I get in there? I can preview it for you guys because I have a PC setup. So I would love to check it out, stream some, on my channel. So I might do that if I can get the hookup.
Yeah, get that hookup and then stream it in our Discord. Everybody join our Discord.
Join our Discord. Seriously, what have you been doing
on my channel? Yeah. If it's coming to PS, it's okay to put on the channel.
All right, but looking for this, like I said, I've never played a battle royale game. I never played Fortnite, but I did play Rec Royale, and I did actually really enjoy it, especially co-op. I'm definitely getting Just Incredible on my team because he is damn good at these types of games. But yeah, really, really excited to hear more about this and get more impressions.
It ended. I gotta wait till the 22nd, I guess.
No, what are you gonna do?
Oh, okay.
Oh well.
Miss my jam.
All right, what's our next news story, AJ?
Dash Racing is the one that came out today, and for PC and Quest, I believe. I guess it was like their official launch or whatever. And yeah, they released a brand new trailer, and I've been mostly hearing good, positive things about this game. As we know, this is kind of like the closest thing to a Mario Kart game that we have here. And yeah, Brian, you talked about it before. Dave, have you played this one, Dave? This is one that you need to
I still have not done Dash Dash yet.
do it, Dave. Do it. I would love to watch you play some of this because I know you're a big Nintendo guy, and I would love to hear your comparisons.
You know what I love about this trailer?
What's that?
I
love a lot of things about this trailer.
Well, here are the things that I love about this trailer that are new to me. I don't think I got in on beta 3.0. I got in on the ones before that. What this trailer is showing off to me that I desperately wanted, one, is that you can put your hand on the wheel and actually steer with actual motion controls. Because before that, it was all analog sticks. Even though you had hands in the game, it was all for the weapons. So you can actually have one hand on the wheel, and you can see that hand moving the wheel, and that's awesome. And so the other hand is for weapons. And then also, I had a problem with some of the weapons that they were focused too much on being goofy instead of effective. And I see here in this trailer, not only a crossbow, but also a railgun. I'm like, okay, these look like more effective weapons for sure. So that's my immediate takeaway just from watching this new trailer.
We covered this a week or two ago, and they had gone silent. I was actually very worried about this team because I didn't hear from them for like 6 months, something like that, after being like really loud. And then they said, no, we've just been hard at work trying to make this game as best as possible. And then they dropped that one teaser trailer, and now they dropped this trailer. And this looks fantastic. I've been wanting first of all, we need more racing games in VR. Secondly, we need more kart racing games in VR. And yeah, I would love to have just a kart racer like this. Absolutely.
So David Moore just said, hate to whine about 4 carts. Is he talking about this? Because is there only 4 carts? I think there might have been in the beta. I feel like it's supposed to be. I feel like it's supposed to be 8 in the final release. I don't know. I just want to make sure I'm
probably find Google. I'll find out.
Yeah,
probably.
But I noticed like some of the new level designs here. I noticed there was like a Chinatown looking thing, and just some levels that I hadn't seen before, and definitely lots of like stuff that goes like up and down and swirls around. And
did you see that hang glider thing when they went off the jump and then a hang glider appeared, like a Mario Kart 8 sort of thing? I'm sure it was in many Mario Kart games before that, but you actually reach up and grab it to float your way down to the next ledge.
I see it now. Yeah,
and then it looks like there's a handle to pull for the boost. They've added a ton of things to make this game more immersive since the last time I played it. This trailer, I mean, if you weren't sold on this game before, the game was already fun just using the analog sticks, but with all this added, it's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, I had
8 players. Buy now to race up to 8 players cross-platform and across the globe. Nice. So it is going to be 8.
Yeah,
nice.
That's perfect.
Or at least that's what they. We'll see.
Yeah, Boy Brown and Justin said they're gonna have 8 players after launch, soon after launch.
Okay, so it should be all set and ready to go by the time it comes home to PlayStation VR.
We finally have a release window for this game, you guys.
Oh yeah,
I knew there was a reason I was bringing it up. Early 2021 for us, so a couple months out is when they're planning to bring it to us. Of course, they always have the early access stuff on PC, and once it gets like officially comes out on PC, usually they do a finalized like version, full version of it on PlayStation later.
What was that?
It's Beat Saber, which released while it's still in early access. I think that's like one of the few games that
wasn't it. I swear, I mean, you're probably right, but I swear I remembered it being like same day.
Same day, yeah. It came out of early access the same day. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
But I feel like there was I think you're right, but I think Dave, there was one game where it was like still like an early access technically or something. I feel like there was one.
Isn't Gorn still in early access?
Maybe.
It's never gonna come out.
Yeah. Eventually Gorn's gonna come out. We'll get to play it.
Stay strong, guys. One day.
So the one thing I will say, no, it's not still in early access. I just had to check because that would have been hilarious. The early 2021 release window. What was the game that said early 2020 or early 2019, and then it literally didn't come out until like halfway through the year? And we were like, oh, early could mean so many things. I just hate release windows that are this vague.
Undead Citadel.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Undead Citadel was originally planned for like January is when they were saying like was their release window. I mean, but that's been pushed back so many times.
Yeah.
They said fall.
Yeah.
They said,
I talked
so
to
many
them. They said
different
next
things.
year. I was like, all right, so everybody, cool your jets on Undead Citadel. It'll come eventually.
Yeah. But they're doing lots of good work at least. I'm looking forward to that one too.
Yeah, well, you and I were just talking about that a little bit, saying, if Swordsman had more of a game wrapped around it, it could be
Yeah.
it could very well be Undead Citadel.
Totally be Castlevania, I agree.
It could totally be Castlevania VR.
We need some whips. Alex, and get in there. Get some chain whips.
Nice.
And Rec Room. And Meat Grinder update. Gamer Chick. Be awesome to have a whip in the Meat Grinder. A whip?
Whipping up zombie units. Yeah, that'd be fun.
All right.
Really excited for this, man. We need more racers. Give us all the racers. Give us those.
Crash Team Racing, please.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Sure. I usually say something like, I don't know, but no. You know what? We talked about this before, and yes, I 100% agree.
Mhm.
Give it to me.
Mhm.
All right, so Vader Immortal got a patch this week, and
Yes.
I was really, really excited to try it out because it was actually pretty big. It applied to all three games. I was hoping it was going to be the wrist movement things. I regret to inform you guys that it wasn't. It's just performance and bug fixes.
It's one of the various bug fixes that don't tell you anything. You're just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a pinch. Okay, I guess.
I wonder if it fixed the brr that would like occasionally happen.
The audio.
But what I was gonna say was I hope that this is like them fixing the stuff, the high priority stuff, the bugs, the performance issues. I hope that's the first step, and then they go and adjust the wrist or whatever. I don't know why they just don't make the wrist static where they don't move around or flop around. I don't know.
I don't know. It just seems like it's taken so long for them to get the bare minimum fixed, right? These are not huge open world games. I don't understand. I mean, I don't develop games. I have no idea what it takes to make a game or to fix a broken game behind the scenes. But like, I just don't understand why it's taken so long for this to be their first update and then to have it be not really a fix that anybody cares about.
Yeah, I mean, be a little bit nice, but again, yeah, there's so many things. I'm really disappointed with the port, the overall quality of this port that we got, because I do think it's a really good experience. Who doesn't like wielding a lightsaber and stuff, and the story and meeting Darth Vader in person. And this game looks beautiful. When I jumped back in like to the dojo, I was like, man, the graphics are really good in this game.
Yeah,
but
the dojo is really fun and really challenging. So I still recommend this thing. I just can't believe that it's not fixed yet. I don't want to dive right into the Squadrons patch that came out today, but man, this Squadrons patch, I'm gonna dive right into it. Sorry, the Squadrons patch fixed so much stuff, right? I mean, you look at the patch notes, and maybe it's not a ton of significant stuff, but the game's been out for a week, like not even, right? Or yeah, like literally a week, and they've already fixed the game more than Lucasfilm or ILM X Lab has fixed Vader Immortal, and I'm sure EA's way bigger.
Can you specify what the issues were? Because the update history only says several performance and stability improvements, unless I don't have the latest update.
Are you talking about for Star Wars?
Yeah, for Squadrons. It just says, it's got that vague sort of like, hey,
I got it right here.
I did have a full list of it.
I'd love to hear everything. They updated it, so I don't
all right, know yet, fix an issue where the players could be not correctly placed in a rank after initial placement matches in the fleet battle ranks. Players who have not started their placement matches will be able to place normally. Players who have started their placement matches will have their remaining matches use the corrected system. To controls, added the option in the menu called Controller Global Dead Zone and Flight Stick. Sorry, sirens on my end. Global Dead Zone, which will allow you to modify the dead zone individually for standard controllers and flight sticks, which is something we did hear from some people.
Yeah, somebody did say that they were having little dead zone issues. Big shout out to Pocket Monkey, the game cat too, who was helping people out with a certain fix for certain things.
Adjusted the default input curves for flight sticks, which make the controls feel more responsive. For VR, adjusted some of the visual effects in VR mode, specifically addressing the brightness and bloom when dropping bombs on your starfighter. And then just like a fucking list of bug fixes. And this is a week, and they've already done more for Squadrons than they did for Vader Immortal.
Yeah. Granted. Oh, good.
Right. EA.
I don't know. It's just. It seems less like a set it and forget it game too, Squadrons. I mean, like, if you're trying to maintain an online multiplayer base, you can't just let shit like that slide for very long,
right? Because
people will get up and leave. They'll be like, fuck it, if you're not going to fix this bug I'm having, I won't play this anymore. And so they need to keep those people in the lobbies right now. Whereas with Vader Immortal, I mean, they already sold it to you. Like, they don't really, what do they need to do at this point? They got your cash. Whereas with this, it's like you might go to your friend and be like, dude, we're getting into a match. Do you have this game yet? It's really good. They just patched it. And then, bring more people in. So I'm not surprised, I guess. I do wonder, has anyone played it since the patch? You guys, like, have you put the headset on and tried it since then?
I've not.
I really want to know when they're going to get to that screen shake issue. Because everybody knows what I'm talking about if they've played it.
That's the thing that I was giving a shout out to Pocket Monkey about. He apparently has a fix for that by adjusting, just tweaking a few settings. He went and posted on Reddit actually. Actually, I think I took a screenshot of it. But there is
his loadout.
That is something with like just with the wait. Was that happening to you with the joystick too, or just the HOTAS?
Yes, it's happened with everything. And it's most noticeable when you're in the hangar, I think, or in the briefing.
But that's only when I noticed it.
It's definitely still happening when I'm playing too. Okay. Like, I don't know as much because I'm in the battle, but like it's still there. And it's happening on PC too, from what I've seen. So that's the really big patch thing that I want them to get to.
He tweeted it too. He says throttle input mode equals steps. Throttle steps increment 1%. Use throttle friction off. Flight stick throttle dead zone 100%. Flight stick throttle sensitivity 50%. I'll post this in the Discord.
One thing to keep in mind, I tried that, the throttle steps 1% sensitivity. When you change that, if you go back to DualShock 4, you got to switch it back because it'll stay the same. And I was like, why isn't my DualShock working? And I realized it was still set to steps with a 1% increment, which totally does not work on a DualShock 4 at all. So if you go back in after switching, just remember, you got to tweak that.
So, yeah, we did have some updated impressions on this game because we played it a lot more. I only played like an hour and a half before last GAMESCAST. But, man, in like 1 or 2 nights, I got to like level 15 immediately and was getting better at this game. And man, I was just having a blast with this game overall. I think it's really fantastic multiplayer. It's very addicting, right? It's like, how can you stop playing the multiplayer sometimes?
For sure.
Yeah, 100% agree.
All right. We move on to the next thing?
Yeah,
sure.
All right. So, speaking of Swordsman, as we did earlier, Swordsman got an update earlier this week. I wonder if it's gotten the hotfix for it yet. But it got its first Halloween update that includes axes, new swords, new daggers, and, of course, a new Halloween lobby and unlock.
Yeah, there was an update that went live earlier today, so I'm assuming that was the hotfix. It also had a bunch of patch notes of its own, too.
Nice.
It says it fixes that thing with the save file corrupt. AJ, you were talking about you had to mess with your save file to get the axe or something?
So you had the hotfix was you actually had to create a new save file to get everything. To get this new axe, it's called the Cursed Axe. And I did a stream on this yesterday, man, and I had so much fun with it. There's a couple things I'll go over with it that I really, really liked. But yeah, it's an axe. It's a seasonal item where you can only get you get like a 5% chance for when you use it, 5% chance for it to heal you for 50 points, and then there's a 2.5% chance that it hurts you for 150 health. So it was really fun using because you're like using it and like it could just at any moment it could kill me. And it was just a lot of fun to use, man. It was so much fun.
One thing that really hops out at me on this update history for the latest patch is he's talking about reducing the enemy spawn count on lower difficulty levels, which I noticed. I brought this up to him after playing the PC version. I said, hey, man, did you like up the difficulty or like throw more enemies in there? It seems like it's longer to get through the first few levels and it's tougher. And he said, I didn't think anybody would notice, but actually, yeah, I did. And so I think he might have kind of tweaked that back a little bit, roll it back so it's a little bit more similar to, because when I first started playing on PC, level 1 wasn't really a big deal. I didn't need to resort to face stabbing, but I had trouble with level 1 on this one. So I think that should alleviate a little bit of the initial difficulty curve that people were talking about.
I've really enjoyed this game overall. One thing that's really funny about the axes is that they stick. They stick into the people. One of the things I praise about this game are the physics in it and just the random combat. But yeah, the axe like will stick. There's Viking axes and stuff, and yeah, they'll stick into their body parts and stuff and tear away, and the blood splats and stuff. But the axe sometimes gets stuck so hard that like you can even see it on the thumbnail of my stream. I was able to like swing people around. I was having so much fun with this, like swinging people around on the axe and stuff. And to me, this game is like my Gorn. Like it is kind of become like my kind of, I guess I almost want to say it's like a little bit more of a mature version of Gorn. It's not as brutal, but like it takes itself a little bit more serious in that aspect.
Yeah, I think I enjoy. I know it's not quite as fully fleshed out as Gorn was, as far as like different mechanics go. But I definitely I've been having more fun with Swordsman than I did with Gorn for sure. I'm right there with you. So we want to give a shout out to XLayerful or Slayerful. I don't know how to pronounce that. $5 Canadian, saying just dropped in to give you some funny money. Busy work tonight, so I got to watch after. Bye. Hello to future Slayerful. Thank you so much for stopping in. We appreciate you.
Slayerful. So Brian, you did so before I let get past something over to you, Brian. There's another thing they added like this thing called the needle, the dagger. They redid the daggers in this. And John Avey says Bushido blade. I know this is like my Bushido blade in VR. But yeah, they also redid the needle or made the needle, and it's like this tiny little dagger. And when I first started playing this game, I was like, if any sword wasn't like a great sword where like people could get too close to me, I was like, I don't like this weapon. And I don't know if I just got used to it or what, but I was using this needle and I would use the chronokinesis where you block an attack and it goes in slow motion. And as soon as it goes into slow motion, I was using the needle on my offhand and I'm just like I was just like gutting people left and right. Oh my God, man. I was having so much fun.
I got to assume that's a reference to the sword from Game of Thrones that Arya Stark has. That she calls it the needle. So I'm sure that's a nod to Game of Thrones. Is it like a pretty long, skinny kind of? It's like a little pincer kind of poker kind of thing.
Sounds
pincer,
poker. It sounded like you were poking guys with it, right?
Yeah. It is definitely like it looks like a needle the size of a dagger.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, definitely. It was fantastic. But Brian, you did you were talking earlier about, how some companies have a great reputation and then they kind of fall downhill, and there's some that kind of turn it around. And this to me, I really, really enjoyed your interview with him. And yeah, can you give us just like a quick breakdown of that interview and what we have some like, great things in the future coming up for this game?
Yeah, I mean, the interview was, it was funny when I first asked him. Wow, I guess I'm all by myself. I hope you guys are out there having fun. When I
by myself.
Yeah, that's how it feels. But yeah, I was when I first asked Alec to do an interview, he was like, "I've never done one before." And I was like, oh, that's even more interesting. And I was like, I only want to do this if you're going to be like, if you're interested in being like totally transparent and talking about like all of your older games and stuff. Because obviously there's a lot to celebrate with Swordsman, but there's also a lot to talk about behind the scenes when it came to Wraith and Perfect Sniper, and especially Warzone. So when he agreed to do that, I was like, man, this dude is like such a stand-up dude. And then when we actually did the interview the other night, it reinforced that idea 1,000 times over. Because if you go watch the interview, it is. I set him up and he just goes right. I'm like, let's talk about Warzone, and he goes Warzone, blah blah blah, and he just goes on and talks about how it shouldn't have happened the way it happened, and all the reasons why it happened. And if you had any questions about any of these games in Sin Studios past, I feel like he answered it, and he answered it very, very honestly, very transparently. So that was sort of like
it's one of the most interesting interviews I've ever seen on the. Like, I like your interviews all the time, but to see that sort of, you don't usually get a character like him where it's like, we've been shitting on this man for years,
Yeah.
and he comes in and he's open and honest and willing to take feedback, and like, he's committed, and you can tell that. And so it's almost like, one of our first sort of like redemption stories of some dev that everybody was like, Sin Studio, oh my god. But then eventually you realize this guy's got his heart in the right place. He's made some mistakes, but like, and it is frustrating to hear him say sometimes stuff like, oh, well, Onslaught never should have been released. Nobody should have to pay for it in the form. We shouldn't have released it like that.
Warzone.
And Warzone. And so that kind of stuff, it's like, well, you did still release it, bud. And like, part of the reason you even got to make Swordsman is because of the money that came in from that game, which was almost like a bait and switch. Like, hey, if you buy this really trashy game, we'll end up using that money to make a decent one. Right. But I do feel like he is a good guy. So at heart, like, I think he's trying to do the right thing and listening to feedback and open to it. So everybody watch that interview. It's great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't understand why he did the things he did by the end of the interview, then I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, because it's like he really, it seems like his heart was in the right place and he was trying to do all the right things. And it was an awesome interview. And I will say, one of the things when he was talking about getting positive feedback from Swordsman, like over and over and over, but then kind of still not believing it, being like, maybe these people are just trying to be nice. Maybe these people are trying to, they think I'm going to know that they're the ones giving the feedback, even though we said it's going to be anonymous. This is all, I mean, I think any creator feels the same way. Like, this is when I truly started to identify with him during the interview, because I'm like, it was so, especially during the early years of Without Parole, when everybody was so positive and everybody was nice and no one was disliking videos, and all the comments in the comment section were just fucking positive, right? And it's like, but I look back and go, man, people were being like super nice, it was hard to believe them at the time. And I look back and go, man, people can just be really nice when they're trying to, to support you and say, oh yeah, here, give you a push in the right direction. So I totally understand where he's coming from, and it makes perfect sense to me. But when we get to when we talked about Swordsman, and he was again pretty forthcoming about that. And I will say, if you want to know like what the future holds for Swordsman, most of his roadmap is pretty transparent. It's all up there on the Sin Studio Discord, but he does go into a little bit more detail as far as potential of co-op in the future, potential of some different types of maps, different enemies, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that fairly soon.
I just want to, very quick side note here. We've got Wargarble who's arrived, Fish Laser in the building. But I have heard he's been saying that he's working on a House of the Dead inspired Dreams game. That's his next project, right? Ooh. And he doesn't have an aim controller. It's coming up in the chat here that he doesn't have an aim controller. People are already throwing you're going to buy this man an aim controller, because he's already one of the top Dream creators. And
we actually have
this game in VR with the aim.
Dreams did get a huge update, and we actually have that on the list here coming up pretty soon. So we're gonna do a deep dive into that. But yeah, Brian, I am, the good thing about Swordsman, like I said, I really, really enjoy this game. Mark Pringlesleaf was asking me earlier. I've actually been getting this question a lot, and I would love to see your guys' input. We had 2 sword fighting games. I love sword fighting games. I love sword fighting. And we had 2 sword fighting games come out recently, and I'm getting the question a lot of, do I get Until You Fall or Swordsman? And to me, I keep saying, look, I think they're both really good, but they both kind of offer something different. I really, really love the physics, the combat, the visceral feeling of Swordsman. It's also got this awesome roadmap ahead with these with this DLC plan. Until You Fall is different in that, like, it doesn't have the weight of the weapons and stuff, but it has like the deeper like level design and like game design and stuff.
Can I quibble slightly with that and say that there is actually weight to weapons in Until You Fall? The axe feels much different to swing than a small dagger does, and when you block, that's a huge part of the mechanics, because I went out with 2 heavy weapons and I couldn't block successfully against fast enemies. But if I took a small, like, light dagger, you can block really quickly with that. So the weight is actually a mechanic. There is weight in. Don't think there isn't.
I feel like the Swordsman is more weighty, though, right? Do you agree with that?
based. I think in this one it's
Physics
like,
based,
oh,
right.
axe heavy, but in Swordsman you can upgrade your strength, so the axe heavy thing kind of slides away and it doesn't feel that heavy anymore. So I think that's a whole physics system. Whereas Until You Fall, like I can move this weapon faster, so I can block better, and like that's pretty much the extent of it. But it is somewhat physics based.
So, David Moore. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know. Are we just going to stick on this question for a little bit as far as which one to get?
Yes.
Yeah. The problem is like they're actually wildly different games. They both have sword to sword combat. But man, I feel like I'm playing Dance Dance Revolution when I play when I'm playing Until You Fall. Right? It's like there's a lot of prompts and a lot of fast movements, but Swordsman, it's just there's no prompts, and it's just like, oh, if you think that you should block by doing this, or if you just want to step back instead of block. I mean, there's just sort of this free form battle mechanic where it's like it's never going to tell you what to do, a la Golem, a la Until You Fall. And so I love both of them for what they're doing. I think Until You Fall is like the better game, and I think that it's going to give you a lot more for your money. And I love roguelites, and I love gradually like doing the same thing over and over and upgrading my character or upgrading my weapons. And I think that's going to ultimately get a much better review score. Again, who the fuck cares about scores? But a much better review in general too. When it comes to like my final review, which Triangulator, I saw your note. I got to get my Squadrons review done first. It has been the monkey on my back. I'm so sorry, man. It's like I feel like I've been slacking this week because I'm too much of a perfectionist, and I know my Squadrons review isn't going to be the way I want it to be, even when it's done. But like eventually, I'm just going to have to be like, it needs to be done, man. Like it just needs to be done, and then I can focus on other stuff. And I need to get that done soon so I can do my Until You Fall review. I can play the crap out of that, do the review for next week, and then also the developer interview coming up next week with Shell Games Until You Fall.
I think that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, this has been a tough question that I keep getting asked because I like certain things about each one more. I agree though, like Until You Fall is more like a deep game, but there's something so satisfying about just jumping into Swordsman and just getting into a brawl. And also, David Moore said that there's going to be skeletons in Swordsman.
Nice.
Interesting. Yeah, as far as my 2 cents on the Until You Fall versus whatever, I think people who've seen us play, and if you just look at the two games, it's kind of obvious right out the gate. Like, one is trying to be a realistic, physics-based blade and sorcery style game.
Right.
That's like a sandbox, a combat sandbox. And Until You Fall is clearly super stylized, really colorful, way over the top, dark fantasy. All these guys look crazy. You get magical weapons all over the place and stuff. Like it's a different vibe entirely. So I think people will know just personally what looks more exciting to me. But I do think Until You Fall is the better game of the two, just from an objective kind of standpoint.
Bullard's coming through with the 250 Philippine pesos saying, I got Until You Fall first, but the interview made me want to get Swordsman to support the dev. Love your content as always. Makes my day. Thank you very much, Willard. We appreciate your support. Oh, good. Triangulator understands. Good. It's like I just go, I'm sorry. Until somebody finally gives me a hug and goes, it's okay, Brian. It's okay. We're just going to go watch other channels that are better than you until you finally get your shit together. This is what goes through my brain on a daily basis. I promise you. I'm neurotic.
But yeah, to be honest with you, I love both of these games. I'm so happy to get more. Remember how we were saying there's like only Golem was like the only sword fighting game we had. So these two coming out last month were huge for me personally.
Yeah.
I'm definitely happy. And we even mentioned Undead Citadel before, and I can't wait for that eventually as well. I hope it turns out kind of like on a mix between both of these games.
It's funny how satisfied. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
I'm just glad Ninja Legends didn't come out the same week as all these other ones, because people will be like, which of these 3 games should I buy?
I think Ninja Legends actually is coming out this month. It might actually have a release date this month, and I forgot.
I heard it's coming soon. But guys, also, once again, just because there's swords in it, totally different games.
Right.
Not even comparable.
Oh shit, what was I gonna say? Oh well, wasn't important. I forgot.
But yeah, this is just anyways, Yeah. So
Oh, I remember. I'm so sorry. Now that you were about to get the show back on
sweet.
track,
No,
I got to
you're
derail
good.
it, man. That's what I do.
I was stalling. I was stalling for you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So I was just gonna say, remember when we played Shadow Legends? Like, just wasn't it earlier this year? And we were like, oh man, the sword fighting actually feels really good. But we're really, it like put everything into slow motion, and then it gave us it actually gave you cut marks on the enemy to be like cut off the arm, cut off the head, and I was like, this is pretty cool, man. Maybe VR needs this to have a successful sword fighting mechanic. And then Golem was like, nope. And then these games are like, nope. And I think it's funny how like things can quickly evolve, and you go, God damn! I was like, here we are. I was like, maybe sword fighting in VR might be too difficult for physics and for people to react. And then here we are with two games that do it wildly differently, but both extremely successfully. So it's just funny how things can change in just a few months.
I know Beat Saber's not a combat game, but it is a sword, technically like a visceral sword fighting game. Same with Saints and Sinners. I mean, the physics in Saints and Sinners is absolutely fantastic. And that's just something that I think as we go on, we're going to get more and more games like this where it just has that visceral combat. And to me, it just goes a long way in not just playing the game, but like feeling the game and feeling the impact of stuff. I think it's so important moving forward. And I hope none of these end up being like a step backwards. Like my worry about, Ninja Legends is supposed to be pretty good, but my worry is that it's going to be something more like Fruit Ninja or Kingdom of Blades. That to me is not good visceral VR combat to me. These games are a perfect example of what it would feel like.
Yeah, I think the key difference though, when you bring up like a Beat Saber or a Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, it's not a sword fighting game because there's nobody else with a sword that you're hitting, and until you fall in Swordsman, you're fighting dudes with a sword, and Golem you're fighting dudes with a sword. So you do have a sword, and the physics feel good, but it's a different genre because you don't have anybody else that you're playing it up against.
Yeah,
guys.
And Shadow.
Sorry, no. I was actually going to change the topic, sort of. Yeah. So please go ahead.
I was just going to say Shadow Legend, as much as I love that game for how much there's interactions and stuff, I streamed that on Saturday as well. And Shadow Legend is on sale for $15. I do recommend it at that price. But that game, of all these games, I think that one is the weakest in terms of combat because it's kind of like sloppy.
It's quaint now. Like we liked it at the time, but now like you think about, oh, I have a prompt to slice a dude's head off and it goes into slow-mo every time. Yeah. Like really? Like do I need that? It doesn't seem as polished as it did in comparison after.
Everything else about that game is fantastic.
Oh yeah, like you said, all the interactivity, like going around looting and stuff. I loved all that.
Horses, carrots.
Is that still on sale for half price or 40% off?
It's at 15, yeah.
Nice. I think it should be.
Nice. It's definitely worth it. Please pick up Shadow Legend while you can get it cheap. What I want to say was Seymour Gamecats asked, is Golem worth it at this point? And just while we're talking about it.
It would be so hard though. Like you've got, because Swordsman's $20. Until You Fall is $25. Golem is $20 now. Now you got Shadow Legend at $15. Like it is hard to, you're just gonna have to see what do you want. I've always told people it doesn't matter if a game could be like amazing, right? It could be a really amazing game, but if you're not gonna play that game, then don't buy it. You have to go with what you want and what you're gonna actually play. Iron Maiden says Skyrim has left the building. Skyrim has left the chat. Yeah, Skyrim definitely does not have good visceral combat, but it's still a fantastic game.
Yeah, again, everything else about it is amazing.
If you're a mage, then it is cool.
The one thing I would say about Golem, though, is that it still has those funky ass controls of having it, like, for the best way to play it is to have a dual shock in one hand and
the nav
move controller.
The nav controller.
If you have a nav controller, or if you go get one, I guess.
Right. $3.
I know, but
if these guys could add a second, a secondary control scheme for another move controller, just so that you can just do the normal hold the move button and point in the right direction, it would be infinitely more fun to play. Especially since, I mean, the game is beautiful. Right, Golem is such a beautiful game. It's an open world game. It has exploration elements. You find secrets all around the environment, and figuring out how to progress in the game is part of the fun. And I actually thought the melee combat was amazingly well done. And it gets, at first it's so simple. Yeah, Golem. At first it's so simple and just like you're like, really? It's telling me where to put but eventually you're like, boom, boom, boom. It's like, and it feels sometimes it's just it feels impossible, and then you find armor that you upgrade, and then you find swords that you upgrade, and it's a great feeling. And it's $25 now.
It's a beautiful game. Oh, is it 25 or 20?
Yeah, 25. It's
Unless you love the aesthetic and like the vibe and the story and stuff seems really cool to you, I would say don't buy this after you've played Until You Fall.
Right.
Because Until You Fall takes a similar thing and condenses it into a much more like quick, like streamlined, easy to hop into, more addictive format. Because you still die and come back and have to go and do things again and figure things out as you go through. And it, in a way, like Golem is kind of a roguelike in that way, because you die, you come back, you do things differently next time, even though the whole city doesn't change. But this is just so immediate. Like Until You Fall will grab you the first time you play, the first 5 minutes in. Golem is a slow moving game. Like picture the enemies in Golem. Yeah. That's the pace of the game, as it unfolds. Until You Fall is just like quick hit of like immediate kind of fun. So much different vibe again, as we're saying, these are all much different games, even though they involve swords. Like it's hard to lump them in together.
Yeah, it's a much different game, but I feel like when in Golem, discovering new environments, like the second you get a key to open that next door, or the correct mask to open the next door, you're like, oh my god, like here I am. It's like brand new place to explore. And some of the variety in the environments, after you kind of, especially when you get out of the, kind of post-apocalyptic, like just like ruins landscapes, it gets really, really interesting. And every time you come around the corner and there's another golem that you have to fight, you're just like bracing for impact. You're like, I don't know if I can fucking handle this. Like, wildly different. Golem still to me belongs in the top 25 list. I'm very curious to see, once I get more into Until You Fall, if I feel the same way about that game, which I'm betting I will.
I love Until You Fall. So good. But yeah, I think Golem qualifies for the award show this year. So when we eventually do the award show, I think it would be cool to kind of have the cats duke it out and make a sword fighting category or something.
Yeah, I think Golem does. I think November of last year. Golem came out,
October 3rd was the cutoff.
Wargarble's fucked everything up. We were trying to give him money to buy a name. Now he's giving us $20. This is all backwards, Wargarble. This is supposed to be for your aim controller, so you can make us that Good House of the Dead game. But thank you so much. Wargarble2, $20 says, love you folks. Thank you for your support, and thanks for all of the VR love. If you don't know where we're coming from, telling you about this dude, he's a Dreams creator, made some of my favorite Dreams creations so far that are VR supported. Me is great. Fish Lasers is fun.
Fish Laser.
He's working on some great stuff, so check him out. Wargarble is his name on Dreams. So
thank you for the support, Wargarble 2, the sequel to the already amazing Wargarble.
Oh yeah,
the sequel, Wargarble 2, the sequel. So moving on, because we got to keep things going here.
All right, let's go. Caffeinated, everybody.
This wasn't the only kind of story of redemption that we got this week. There was you weren't the only interview that happened. I actually said,
Brandy's like, you weren't the only interview.
You weren't the only interview, motherfucker.
I tried to watch this one, but as soon as I heard Shughead, I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, no.
F you, Shughead. I'm just kidding. I love Shughead.
Oh man. No, but I sat down with the Aspire 1 developers. We were planning on doing this interview on the PSVR chat show, and this was like when the game was coming out, like this time last year, literally. And we actually mentioned it during a GAMESCAST, and we were like, Dave and I are going to go do this interview with Aspire 1, and it, turned out that no. So they had an awful thing happen with their launch. And we all know that Aspire 1 had a really, really rough launch. I was very harsh on it. We were all very harsh on it, and rightfully so. But, kind of how Sin Studio was like, yeah, just these games had these issues, and there's nothing we could do about it. You kind of just got to move forward. They had kind of a similar reaction with the Aspire 1. So I highly recommend going to PSVR chat show, the channel. Check out this interview we did. It was really, really something cool. But, the other thing of significance here is that they actually did an update for Aspire 1 where they tweaked the audio. That came out, I think, actually last week, and I forgot to include it. But one of my, I was really impressed with the assimilation update. I thought it fixed a lot of lighting and stuff, and made a lot of improvements. But then they also did this audio fix where now it's not like no matter where you are, there's like 1,000 footsteps in your ears at all times. And I went back in. I'm actually going to be streaming this game again pretty soon, to kind of show it off. But I've been really impressed with the updates, man. And I got to say, I really want to play through this game again and give it another shot and see what it's like.
I'm with you part way for sure. I'm impressed that they're still working on it. I'm impressed that the graphics are slightly better, the lighting slightly better, that they've worked on the textures, that when you walk into a room you don't hear the sound of footsteps from people 2 rooms away anymore. But I checked into it after this last update, and I'm just not interested. Like it just feels boring to me. Like they haven't nailed the stealth mechanic in terms of having there be repercussions for not being stealthy. So what I'm excited about is to see what this game looks like in a year, and to be like, okay, let's let these guys be true to their word, and if they want to right the wrongs, and let's see where this game is in a year from now, and hopefully it'll be everything they wanted it to be on day one.
That's a long leash to give them. I feel
That
like
is a very long leash.
Yeah,
I mean, I already bought the game. It's like I might as well check in on it in a year.
Yeah, if this is the thing that you're keeping an eye on, and you're like, oh, maybe I should get this. I like Metal Gear Solid. I'm into stealth stuff. They keep improving it. Like Brian said, it's still not enough. Twitcher just said keep on polishing it, which is like I think that's how Brian and I feel about it. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't go back to it since this update, but I'm still. If you want a stealth game, budget cuts is your game. Stealth has repercussions. You can't breeze your way through that game. If you get seen, you often get killed immediately, and you got to go back and figure out what you did wrong. So I don't know. That's much closer to what I'd want out of a Metal Gear Solid game than this is, and just more fun.
Yeah, I still gotta. Honestly, I have to play. I gotta finish Budget Cuts, but I love what I've played so far. But this interview was really cool, man, and it was just really, like I said, I did kind of an angry rant when this came out, and I was, to be honest with you, I was really unhappy with the way that I kind of acted when this game came out. I think, honestly, it was fun at the time and stuff, and I think a lot of the criticism was well deserved. But that was like one of the first times where I was actually embarrassed, where I was like, I can't believe I acted this way, and so it was interesting getting to meet this dev and talking with him, and I told him that I learned a lot from that experience, from that situation, and I don't ever want to act like that again. Like, I don't mind going on angry rants and stuff, but I just felt it was really unprofessional, and it was not a good situation for anybody. But it was really also cool to see him be like, well, all the stuff you said was warranted, and he's like, yeah, there. And it kind of the whole interview goes into basically everything that happened with the launch and stuff, and it was just it was a lot of fun. So like I said, there's a link in our Discord. Can also just go to the channel and check it out. But I'm gonna be jumping back in. I played some last night. I was doing the challenges, and I'll be honest with you, man, I was having a lot of fun doing the challenges. Was it last night or the night before? I was having a ton of fun, like really close to what I wanted.
I think the challenge is because there are repercussions for not being stealthy. That kind of those are like easier to fix, right? I think the challenges are where that game might garner a little bit of respect. So yeah, as far as that's concerned, I think the challenges are probably decent. But yeah, the campaign still needs work.
Totally apropos of nothing. Brian, have you ever asked Supermassive for an interview about Bravo Team?
Yeah, and then Sony got mad at me because they were like, you can't talk to these guys. And I'm like, oh, fuck, man, I don't know how things work.
I would have loved to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I still don't know who...
Related.
Yeah, but no, actually, I actually did talk to Supermassive directly at one point, and they were just like, thank you, but no thank you. I still don't know how everything works behind the scenes. I have no idea.
Yeah, they were involved in their own whatever.
Boy Brown says, why, AJ, the game was in a very poor state on PSVR. It was better on Quest, but I still refunded after 45 minutes. Honesty is good. Honesty is good, but I don't know if you were around during that time. I was shouting at the top of my lungs. I was cussing out Sony. I was acting like a fucking madman. And
you were cussing out Sony? I don't remember this then. That's crazy.
I was cussing out Sony. I was cussing out Aspire. I was cussing out basically everybody because I was so looking forward to this. And I was basically acting like one of these internet idiots that just whine and complain and stuff. I'm just not happy with my my thing.
That was why people watched us.
Well, like I said, I wasn't happy with the way I acted, whether or not it was justified. I learned a lot from that, and I just wasn't happy. But like I said, go check out the interview. Really good stuff. And I also asked them for some keys to give away. So when I stream it, I'll be doing some giveaways as well for the game.
I mean, don't forget how this thing launched, man. Like, I understand that you're upset about like the way you might have acted. I don't really remember it, to be honest. But this game launched in a fucking shit show state went on PSVR with the mandatory blindness. You couldn't even see what was going on. I mean, it was just an absolute mess. It was almost unplayable. And if you decided to play it, it was not going to be any fun whatsoever. I mean, the voiceovers were telling you to push the wrong buttons on the controller to activate different things. It's like I mean, I say the fucking angry rant was warranted. I don't care what you said or how you said it. Because it
sometimes you up a little too much about being negative, but like sometimes you got to be negative. Sometimes they earned it. And I understand, like, if you're having further interviews and you want to be on good terms with these people, you would feel bad. And like, I would feel bad in the same situation if I said all that and then I was in a situation where I'm sitting across the table from a guy. I'd be like, hey, sorry about that, bud. We'll have this time. But like, it doesn't mean what you said was wrong or that you were wrong for being mad, because like people were excited about this game. It cost not a small amount of money, right? It wasn't like a $5 game. Like, it's a reason to be a little annoyed with the way it came out and vent that anger. It's kind of our job to be honest about stuff. So
yeah,
just don't beat yourself. Oh, we lost his mic. AJ's gone.
Oh, we lost AJ's mic at the same time. You started stuttering, Dave. Your camera started stuttering. I wonder what happened there. That was very strange. All right, so Aspire 1. I think we can probably move on from that, and we'll except you know what? Hold on a second. I don't have to run a show up here. So without AJ running the show, I actually have to look in and see what's going on.
Let's see.
I think. The Dreams update. All right. Well, then Dreams just got an update, and it's more than this, but the big thing that it added was aim support.
Yes.
And I am extremely curious to hear how easy it is to add aim support to your Dreams games. I'm going to be begging AJ to make Farpoint 2, or at least Dream Borders with giant spiders.
He's making Dream Borders with the aim, and he was thinking about calling it Far Borders, like Farpoint. So maybe you never know.
Huh? Yeah. Like it. Yeah. Good stuff.
Or aim borders would work. Aim Borders VR. I like. AJ, can you still hear us? Write all these down.
Check.
There we go. He's back.
Hey.
See what happens when you're not here to run the show, AJ, man? Like, Dave and I don't have anything to talk about.
So Dreams had this huge update, man. They added aim support finally. They added move support remapping. And guess what the first thing I played with the aim was? It makes no sense.
Dream Borders?
The first thing I played was Fish Laser. I played you were talking about this and I was like, don't talk about this because I want to say this. But yeah, the first thing I tried out was Fish Laser with the aim support, which makes absolutely no sense. But to their credit, you can, just like how you can kind of swap. One of the great things about Dreams was how you can swap between the DualShock and the move controllers like on the fly, right? Same thing applies to the aim controller, sorry. And it's just really awesome, man. It's so seamless. And I will say the games that I picked up and played, do you remember I'm sure some of you have played it, but there's like some games that there's one that's like always it's got like Japanese text and you kind of run around and you're like shooting these like cat looking zombie things that sometimes shoot back.
Cat looking zombie things?
Yeah.
So what kind of game is this?
It's got like Japanese text. It's a Dream.
It's in Dreams.
Is it like a space station looking one where like you keep entering the same big room over and over again?
No, it's No.
Then
But
no.
anyways, there was a game with a gun, like an actual assault rifle, and I picked up and I switched to that assault rifle, and dude, it feels good. Like people are gonna make some really good stuff with this aim controller. It's gonna be sick.
You talked about remapping, remapping move controls. Was this the update that we wanted for move controls, where like you could actually just hold the move button to walk around and move and point in the direction, or is it still kind of like the hold the trigger and spin the world thing?
So I haven't gotten into the deep dive with it yet, but from what I can tell, there is like a remote control thing where you can remap it to where, yeah, you can. As from my understanding, you can remap it so it's not the trigger to move and the move button to turn and stuff.
Sweet.
I'm
Yeah.
curious. Here, I guess War Garble left already. I wanted to know from like a real hardcore Dreams creator what the significance of, because there's the aim support and potentially the move remapping, but there's a lot of stuff that just goes into basic creation here, like the music. They call it the music update. They don't call it the aim support update. Like you have to dig through the patch notes. So I feel like for normal creators, they've done something to overhaul the whole soundtracking, music system, which could be potentially like really cool if you know about that stuff. But I don't know about that stuff.
Mhm.
So I was hoping somebody in the chat like could look at this patch list and be like, "Oh, that's huge." If you're a creator like me, and like see the benefits on the other side. But it's a huge patch list. I mean, there's a lot of updates in there. So good stuff.
Yeah. This is just one of those things that. Sorry, go ahead.
Red Rover, he's been sitting here for a minute with $20 from Red Rover. Send Joe Grover the effing game cat right over. He says for AJ's anger management therapy.
AJ Smash.
Ah!
Nice. AJ is the angriest person I know. That is for sure. It's not true at all. AJ is a super nice guy. So when he gets angry, there's usually a reason behind it. I'm the guy that gets angry for no fucking reason. I'm like, oh, all 5 of my toes didn't go into my sock when I tried to put it on. I'm fucking mad now.
I get ornery and I just want to shut the fuck up. I think that's my thing.
I don't think I haven't worn socks in like literally 8 months.
Wait, what? I wear socks all the time.
I haven't left my apartment, man. Like, what am I wearing socks for?
You must sweep more than I do, because if I don't wear socks, my feet get dirty. Carlos brings all this dirt in from outside because he's rolling around in the fucking sand all day.
Yeah.
And then if I don't have socks on, my feet are just like covered in dirt.
No, Tornado is definitely an indoor cat. Although I will say she's getting more curious about the outdoors. I opened I had to grab a package that was sitting outside my door, and I opened the door, and she darted from nowhere out into the hallway, looked around, and then darted right back in. She's like, "This is too much for me."
Before watch out, she won't dart back in. You'll have to go chase her and catch her. Luckily, you have just like a corridor. She should be easy to get.
Yeah,
So, like,
she'll be wicked easy to get. She is like scared, and it's so strange. I might have said this before on Gamescast before, but when I leave, if I do leave, sometimes I'll go see my parents or I'll go to whatever I have to do, and sometimes I'll come home 2 hours later, and I swear to you, she's sitting in the exact same place that she was when I left. Like she's sitting like in the doorway to my bathroom, staring at the outside door. That's exactly where she is 2 hours later. I'm like, please, please, please. Like my heart is breaking thinking that maybe you were sitting here for 2 hours. It's like that Futurama episode where you're like Fry's dog. He like keeps coming back to the pizza place every single day for years and years and years and years, and like, he's never coming home because he traveled in time. I was like, it breaks my fucking heart every time I see that. And
so just to cheer you up a little bit, cats and dogs both kind of learn patterns. Like, so if you go to see your parents each week a certain day for a certain roughly amount of time, she is learning, Brian comes back at this time, I'll be waiting. But like she might not have been sitting there the whole time. Also, animals are good at sensing when you're coming down the hallway and you're about to be there. Like your sound, your keys, your smell, like stuff that I wouldn't pick up on, but they pick up on. And so I think they probably run up to the door. I really doubt she was sitting there.
God, I hope so. I hope you're right. I mean, I hope
Like,
you're right, man.
She seems so restless that she'd have to be in like the depths of depression to like sit in one place for 2 hours and stare at a wall. Like,
I think anyone that lives in my apartment could certainly qualify to live in the depths of depression.
I mean, look at my lighting scheme here. I'm like in hell, basically.
Yeah, no, seriously. I'm digging that. I'm jealous of your red lighting.
Well, I feel like we're the light on the dark side here. You got the blue and I got the red.
Oh, that's very true. I forget.
And AJ's like neutral, but he's looking at his phone or something. AJ, what are you doing over there?
Okay, what's going on?
AJ.
We should probably get the show back on the road. It's already 8:40, guys. We only got 20 minutes left. Let's talk about some stuff.
Did we lose his mic?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
He's just not interested in cat conversations.
Get a cat, AJ.
No.
Keep my dog. Thank you. Gave my dog a bath earlier. Did you guys check out the streams update at all? Anything else on the streams? I feel like there's a lot to talk about with the streams update. There was this music thing too, added instruments. What up, Carlos? I love that cat. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the aim controller feels really good in Dreams. It works pretty seamlessly. There was also some other Dreams that I played that didn't use aim support that were really awesome. So it is definitely becoming time to jump back in and try out some of the new ones. There's this amazing Sonic Evolution game. There's this really cool Tron game that I played. There's some good stuff going on. Of course, All Hallows Eve is going to be happening within the next few weeks. I cannot wait for that. See all the haunted houses that people made. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Just on a personal note, I guess I want to make sure people know that, like, I've seen some comments being like, "Why did you abandon Dreams? How come you're not showing your support for Dreams?" It's the same reason we don't. I did one Minecraft stream and that was it. It's the same reason why I haven't talked about Saints and Sinners since the Meat Grinder update came out. It's the same reason. It's the same reason for all these things, because it's nonstop around here, and just trying to keep up with everything as like one person putting out reviews and putting out like Let's Plays and stuff like that. And without Parole, it's impossible. Right. And so I would love to put out top 5 lists for Dreams like every single month. And hopefully maybe when things settle down, I'll still be able to get back to that. But it doesn't mean we stopped liking Dreams or gave up on the community or anything. We just don't. There's only a certain amount of time in the week. And I have more to do than I could possibly tell you.
And let's throw this out for the future for you guys out there. You guys have heard of a thing called Kind of Funny, right? Brian's already got 70,000 subscribers. One of these days, conceivably, not to put the cart in front of the horse in front of the cart, whatever they call it. But, say you have to keep up with the reviews and stuff, but maybe there's a guy in the community who could be pulled in, and his thing is he's the Minecraft guy. We got weekly Minecraft streams from this dude. Like, as we start to expand, I feel like we can kind of open the tent a little more and have like, hey, weekly Minecraft from Matt over here. He's the Minecraft dude. Everybody loves Matt. Everybody loves Matt, right? He plays Minecraft. Like, Brian's getting the reviews out. You don't have to stream Minecraft all the time. Because what I think people don't realize is that a lot of those game channels you see out there, like, it's not just one guy trying to do everything. And Brian is literally just one guy trying to do everything. So don't expect more than a man can do. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
And reduce those standards even further for Brian. Brian's not quite a man.
Right.
Brian is less of a man.
As far as the Dreams update goes, I asked the chat if any creators had like more insights, and I didn't see anything. So I think we've covered probably as much as we can, speak about with knowledge.
All right, which means we should probably move on, guys. We still got a bunch to talk about before we move on to before we end the show. Correct?
Pistol Whip.
Oh, hey,
Pistol had an update this week entitled "The Heartbreaker." I know lots of game cats love Pistol Whip.
Heartbreaker trilogy.
But this was not just about the 3 songs. I'll be honest with you. Nobody really seems to be interested in the songs that much. Like, they like them, but nobody really cares about, chill stuff.
I counter that point. I like it because there's one specifically, I can't remember the name, but there's one that makes me bop. Like, they all make me bop a little more. Like, the other songs don't really inspire me to dance. Like, dance, you got a little...
I don't know what bopping is.
It's not a specific kind of dance, but it just makes you kind of dance. Like, these feel more like a Michael Jackson vibe or like a Weekend vibe. And everything else is way more like industrial and heavy and dark. And so you don't get that like upbeat kind of cool feeling where, like, when I was streaming, I just got inspired to be like, just like doing a little dance, because the music is more that kind of way. I don't know.
I thought it was relaxing and enjoyable, but I get where some people are coming from. But I mean, along with this though, it came with a pro patch and it came with new mods, and of course, let's not forget about the water guns.
Yeah.
All right, everything's good. Everything's good. I lost you guys for just a second, but we're okay. It's strangely not my internet connection. Like everything's been like crazy good around here. Although in a second, I think we'll find out if it is my internet connection.
I told you it's that OBS update.
Probably.
Metalheads don't bop.
Nobody update OBS if you haven't yet.
Yeah, for real. No, I mean, I thought the pro patch was pretty decent. Like there was just this sort of dullness to pistol whip. And I don't know how many people are actually going to agree with me on that, but I just felt like the overall presentation like lacked oomph, which is strange for a world that pulsates and is filled with bright colors and and crazy good music. But the pro patch made me go, oh yeah, no, everything pops a little bit better now. So I've definitely come around that, especially with the way the game looks. I enjoy being in this pulsating world.
And once again, I mean, they just keep giving us free stuff. So how can you complain? Like, this is our second or third. Like, the game launched with 10 songs originally, and everything that we've gotten since, not on PSVR, originally on Quest.
Right. This is PSVR's first update.
I thought we already got an update before this. Or is that not true? We didn't get some extra songs? I guess we got the extra songs they already had from the updates on the other ones.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Right.
everything everywhere has been free every time, which is fucking awesome. Like, these guys are really good devs in terms of supporting their product. And we actually have another one coming out soon, the campaign-based, like, 5 stages that all work together as
2089.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot wait. That's what I'm really waiting for, man.
Like, this is one of those games you gotta have pistol whip, man, because it keeps on giving. This game is great, and they're just going to continue to add shit to it. So
It's never been about the graphics to me. It's the gameplay that I love about this game. The graphics, the presentation, all that, it's good. It's solid. But that's never really, like, it's very simple with its textures and stuff.
I just remembered I have a huge gripe with this update, though. So they've introduced this new thing where in some of these fancy stages, because it's so vibey, like I was talking about, there are guys who are just dancing. They're not shooting at you. They're just dancing.
Right.
And I felt so bad shooting those guys because I was like, I'm dancing too, bud. You don't even have a gun. And I'm just like, I gotta shoot you though, and it just made me feel bad. I was like, he's chilling over there. Why should I have to shoot him? He should be dancing and then pull a gun.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Last second.
I just felt so bad.
I have the platinum in this game, and I think there was a trailer, or I'm sorry, there was a trophy for not hitting any of the dancing guys in one of the levels.
Well, I mean, did John Wick ever walk into a club and shoot all the people dancing? No, he shoots the guys with his own.
No.
Yeah. No, but this is a lot of fun though. I totally I'm loving Pistol Whip, and in this update somehow made me super excited for 2089. Just like, man, I just want more now. So, and especially to see what the upcoming weapons and if they add any more mods. Quick question, maybe you guys can answer this for me. The mod for dual wielding, did that used to subtract from your score, or has it always been 0% change? Because now it's 0% change.
It used to subtract.
It's like 10% change before, 5 or 10.
Now it's nothing.
Most
right?
of the mods like 5 to 10% change.
Yeah,
but you can stack them.
So I think too many people were like, man, this sucks because dual wielding is one of the reasons to play this, and it's a mod that subtracts from your score. And so they must have changed it in response to that. I
honestly don't like the dual wield. I barely use it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Oh my god, it's so much fun.
It's more fun to. That's me and AJ know it's.
Okay.
Are you cutting out, Dave? Or
Yeah, it's cutting out constantly. I'm just laughing to make him smile.
The whole time. No, why don't you tell me I've been cutting out the whole time?
It was
We got like 10
it was
minutes
right
ago.
there. it was just right there. I couldn't. I don't know. Something was going on. Yeah.
Chinese chicken, have a drumstick in your. It's good. Yeah.
So were you saying that you liked single? You like one pistol? Is that what you were agreeing with me?
I like 2 pistols. I like the feeling of the one pistol game better because I like having my hands on the gun like that. You feel cooler when you're like bop 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 bop.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels more coordinated and badass to play with one. But then people in the chat are saying it's boring. So it's up to you. Everybody's different strokes. It's all in there.
Right on. Yeah, it's cool that they let you do it either way. Big fan of this game. Getting to be a bigger and bigger fan, actually. So, guys, we need to talk about Mortal Blitz Combat Arena before this show ends. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
So that came out today, this morning. Well, technically at like 3 a.m. Eastern time here. And man, I'll tell you, just looking at the PlayStation Store, there are 10 tiles that all say Mortal Blitz Combat Arena. Interesting debut for a free-to-play title.
It's got to be because it's a free-to-play title, and they always sell things in the PSN store that are like, you can get 1,000 gold blitz bucks or whatever the fuck they're calling them. I don't know, some currency that's in game. Because obviously, if it's free to play, they're going to try and grift you some other way. But it sounds like, AJ, you were saying that the stages are paid, like you buy extra levels beyond the free one. I thought somebody said that. Did you mention that before? I lost AJ.
I think we said it last week that is he gone?
I didn't hear him when he was talking just there.
Are you still there, AJ? No,
you need me to.
We can't hear you.
Checkity China, eats chicken, have a drumstick.
Okay, while we're getting back, while we're waiting for AJ to get his audio problems fixed, I said last week that according to the email that I got from Skonek, that it seemed like you did need to purchase something to get all the arenas. But man, I'll tell you, from looking at the PlayStation Store and seeing all 10 of these tiles, I mean, as somebody who, it's so confusing, right? You've got the Mortal Blitz Combat Arena that's free. Then you've got 2 PlayStation Plus downloads that are free if you've got Plus, exclusive to Plus. The Combat Arena Special Pack 1 and the VIP Pack. And then you've got the Mortal Blitz Combat Arena Premium Battle Pass. It says 1 season on it. That says unavailable, right? And then on the top of that, he's like, well, let me just fucking buy the game, right? Can I just buy the game and be done with this free-to-play shit? So you look at Mortal Kombat Combat Arena Standard Edition, $25. But then...
$25?
Then there's another option, Mortal Blitz Combat Arena Deluxe Edition for $35, right? And so...
And it all currency and levels? Like, what do you get?
So if I go to the Deluxe Edition, it's saying you get standard, you get the Standard Edition plus 5 arena packs plus Premium Battle Pass for 1 season for $35. And then the other 4 downloads... The other 4 downloads are Mortal Blitz Combat Arena. Actually, it does say Mortal Kombat, just with Blitz in the middle. 10 plus 1 arena packs, which is 10 plus a bonus. In the arena packs, let me clarify this because it's not 10 arenas. Each arena pack contains 3 random items that upgrade the looks and abilities of your character. These costume, booster, and weapon items can be equipped in the customized mode. Items are divided into normal, rare, heroic, and legendary grades according to your abilities. If you get an item that you already own, it will give you mileage instead. When you collect a certain amount of mileage, you can get Gold Arena Pack. I mean, you've got to be kidding.
They have like 4 currencies that they stack on top of each other, and you don't know what you're supposed to do. You can probably only get a very minimal amount by playing the game, and anything else you want to do, they're going to grind you for cash on, it sounds like. Because anytime you see a game like this where there's multiple currencies stacked on top of each other, and this fancy one does this, that's the one that costs you $5 to buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think that this is gonna go badly. I think if you have to pay for arenas, that's one thing, but maybe you don't, because Arena Pack is misleading.
You do have to pay for arenas.
So they've immediately split the player base. I don't think anybody's going to pay much cash to play this goddamn game, honestly.
I was very surprised to see when I jumped in to play the free version. I was like really excited to test the AI and to do the mission challenges mode stuff that I was really looking forward to. And yeah, it's part of the standard edition that you have to buy.
$25.
And I was like,
So I was wondering, so the single player or anything that's offline is included in only the if you pay for it version.
What you get from the free version is basically the beta.
Is it worth it? Did you play that mode fun, or did you not play it because you didn't buy that version?
Is it worth it for free? Yeah, it's worth it for free. Yeah. I didn't buy the other version. No.
Single player, like against bots or something.
I've got way too many games. I can buy that at a later date. I can't. I got way too many games to catch up on right now.
Let's know if anybody actually paid money for this and has played that single player mode AJ's talking about, and is it actually worth anything, or is it just like a reason to justify charging people money? The other thing is
eventually, but not right now.
Because there are Plus free add-ons, does that mean you can play it without Plus because it's a free-to-play game, or do you still have to have Plus to play it online with people?
Ooh, here, I can check real quick because I'm right here. Let's check the standard edition and see if it says Plus required.
Just the free edition, actually, the free edition.
Oh,
Right.
sure. Let me check that.
You probably do.
There's so many. I don't even know. There it is. Free edition.
I wasn't, to be honest with you, I kind of disagree about like being confused by that. Like I wasn't confused. It's just it's a little like weird that there's like 10 different things, but it wasn't like hard to navigate for me or anything.
I think most people seeing free-to-play games get released will be used to this kind of thing, but it's not an usual VR thing. Because like anytime a free-to-play game comes out, they release like 6 packs with it where you can spend this much money or that much money. And they all look shitty in the store, but that's sort of the way it is. But real quick, actually, Professor Lilith gave us $3. Thank you, Lilith. And says, dudes, I sent a bunch of Dreams update info to chat, so we must have missed that. We were asking about specifics on that. But thank you, Lilith.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Lilith. I'm looking at the description on the PlayStation Store. I don't see anything about PlayStation Plus required for online.
I figured because it's free. That's your one workaround. If it's a free game or a beta, you're
Like
not
Rec
that
Room.
PS Plus.
Yeah.
So what Lilith said, as far as the Dreams update, we were asking for more details. Real quick, she says a bunch of new instruments, especially synths. It's easier to tweak the response volume control. Tweaking effects is way easier. I might have missed some of this, but a lot of the music stuff sounds like a good update for people who are working in Dreams. So thank you, Lilith.
Excellent.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, so just to clarify, like, I mean, you could navigate through the PlayStation Store with Mortal Blitz Combat Arena. I was certainly confused at first. I mean, I'm not a free-to-play guy. I don't fucking know this shit. And so I see, the free version, and then I'm like, and then I see the 2 things to download for Plus, and I was like, okay, well, these are automatically going in my cart. And then I see the standard edition, and I was like, okay, well, what does the standard edition offer that the free-to-play doesn't? And on top of that, it's like the deluxe paid version. I was like, well, what does this offer that the other one doesn't? And then it's all these additional things with the arena packs. I'm like, I think the biggest problem here is, I mean, even once you get past, or for me, getting past that confusion, which I will happily admit that I was fucking very confused. Once you get into the game and you're playing the free-to-play model, is the free-to-play model the thing that's supposed to convince you to spend money in the game? And if they've only given you one map and it's super crazy limited, I'm like, I'm sorry, this is not
the megalith problem. It's the megalith problem.
My God, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough for me to be like, yeah, I want to spend money on this to get further. I feel like I played the free-to-play version. I was like, I've played this for an hour or two now, and I've actually had all the fun that I think I'm going to have with Mortal Blitz Combat Arena. Nothing in this is making me say, and I spent a ton of money on Pokemon Go, right? I played that for an entire summer.
Pokemon Go?
I spent like $60 in one summer on Pokemon Go when that came out.
App purchases, but I just didn't realize. I thought you just walk around and stuff.
You do.
Click on the thing.
You do.
You can
absolutely.
pay money.
Pay money to speed things up, to hatch eggs faster, whatever. I mean, it's been a while. But Michelle and I used to walk around the park at like midnight and just I spent so much time in that I was like, man, the core gameplay here is so addictive that I want to spend money, that I want to give these developers some cash because not only is it going to help me out in my game to further my enjoyment, but it's also going to help out the developers that certainly didn't need any help financially with fucking Pokemon Go. But this is like, I don't have any of that in this. I played today, I played during the beta, and I'm like, yeah, this is fun, but literally I can play it for an hour or two, and I'm like, I'm going to be happy to never play it again. There's nothing here that makes me go, I want to spend money on this to further my experience, to further my enjoyment.
My final question here. We are getting a little long in the tooth here. It's almost 3 hours. But I want to say, so we talked about in the beta version, you couldn't really group up with friends. It was just all random lobbies. Is that still the case? Can you not make a party? Or do you have to pay for the standard, like a deluxe version, to get matchmaking, or like how does it work?
When I played today for free, the only option you have to get into a game was quick match, and quick match just immediately throws you into a random lobby.
That's how it was before. I mean, if I'm going to pay money for this game, I need to be able to set up a lobby with my friends.
And again, it's one of the many things that like I'd have to look into and see, does the paid version actually have a feature like that? So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's craziness.
Get some next gen fans in the chat. Shout out.
Next gen?
Yeah, they're talking about Earl Grey hot.
Oh, excellent. That's fantastic. That's even they even do that in Picard, I think, at the very beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know, AJ. I feel like you haven't really chimed in on this one.
I played the freeze thing. Like I said, it's free. There's no harm in it. I actually had some fun with it when I played, but it was a little discouraging to see it like broken up so much. And I definitely didn't get to keep my progress from the beta, so I had to restart. And yeah, it's free. It's actually a decent game, but I'm not crazy about this whole model that they do. I was excited to try out like the single player stuff, and yeah, just wasn't able to without paying $25. So I don't know about this one. The free base game, whatever. Sure, it's fun. But it's very small, simple, and straightforward, and that's it.
I feel like the perfect thing they could have done is release the free to play beta like they did. Everyone gets their feet wet and goes, "Oh, this is kind of fun. I kind of like this. I like the way they do things." And then just release the game for $20. Like just here's everything, man. Here's your $20 game. Screw the free to play model. Like I just don't think that they're gonna see that much a wide range of adoption from a bunch of PSVR gamers that so far have been totally free of the free to play, free of the free. Oh my god! Can somebody just shoot me? So Ramyo, tag in. All right. Yeah, I just don't see this. This just seems like the worst way they could have marketed this. There's no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like Twitcher said, I just want Mortal Blitz Chapter 2, man. Like, you
Yes.
teased the boss in the demo of Mortal Blitz. Mortal Blitz 1 had 0 bosses in it, if you remember correctly. Give us a Mortal Blitz Chapter 2 that actually captures some of that promise, up the ante a little bit. I actually think Mortal Blitz 2 could be a great game in the same way Crisis Brigade 1 and 2, like, take that concept, refine it, put some more polish on it. But this is not, and I don't even see how Mortal Blitz needs to be attached to it in any way. Like, they could just call this Combat Arena, and it's basically the same fucking thing. Yeah. It has nothing to do with the base game. Like, there's not demons flying around flapping that you got a slow-mo kill, and it goes destructive or whatever the fuck it says.
Right. My guess would be that they're just trying to expand the universe, trying to expand the Mortal Blitz. Keep doing that. Mortal Blitz name.
Nobody cares about the universe. That's the problem. Like, they didn't give enough in the first one to care about the universe. So like a second one would have helped.
But if this was a hit, and then it would be like, keep Mortal Blitz on everybody's mind. Then Mortal Blitz 2 comes out, and it's actually a second chapter of Mortal Blitz 1, and it's like, oh man, the Mortal Blitz, universe is pretty cool. And it just keeps it on everybody's mind.
It's watered down the brand because like the first one was Time Crisis style, and this has nothing to do with Time Crisis in
really like the slightest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like this is in name only related. And so if people actually liked Mortal Blitz, the first one, and they come into this thinking they're going to get anything similar to the same experience, nope, not even close. They just slapped the name on it. So, yeah, I don't know.
What do you think, guys? Do you think we've had a long enough show? It's past 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Isn't there like one sale, though? Should we talk about the one sale?
Oh, what's the one sale?
We should talk about the one sale. Okay, here we go. So we have got another HOTUS game on sale. If you guys just picked up a HOTUS for I got ahead of myself. If you picked up a HOTUS for Squadrons, as many people have done, Ace Combat is on sale for $19.79. So another thing to throw that HOTUS up against. And actually, I'll say out of the box, the HOTUS controls are way more satisfying in Ace Combat. You got to tweak them a little bit in Squadrons to get them just right. So if you've already picked one up, definitely don't sleep on Ace Combat. I know a lot of people said, all this money for just 3 missions, but there's actually unlockable ships, or what do you call them? Planes, I guess.
Yeah.
Different weapons, ace difficulty level that you have to go through all 3 difficulties. Like, there's a lot to do. You could spend $10 playing Ace Combat, 10 hours. Anyways, I'm rambling. Buy it. Right. What do you guys think? Thumbs up?
Thumbs up for Ace Combat. If you have a HOTUS, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a thumbs up even without the HOTUS.
Take a break from Squadrons and go play some more intense flying.
Seriously. All right.
I just can't put this together. Yeah. All right.
All right, you guys. It's been a long episode. We appreciate everybody hanging out in the chat. Thank you so much to all of our moderators who continuously keep this channel running smoothly. They are gods amongst men working behind the scenes. So we thank you guys all very much from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you to all the people that hung out and watched the episode. Thank you to everybody who watches it in the future. Just being like, hey, what's going on? Hey, future everybody.
20.
What was that?
Hello, 2030. I was waving to the people in 2030.
Oh wow, God, I don't think this is going to age well.
I was going to see this in 2030.
But and of course, thank you to everybody who donated. We really, really appreciate your support for the channel. It means the world to me. Especially when here I am, not going to talk about. I'm struggling, trying to get shit done. It's not happening. But we love you all very, very much. Make sure you subscribe to Dave over at Dave Station VR. Make sure you subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. Ooh, that didn't come out right. Underground. My name's Brian Powell from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole. This was PSVR Gamescast Live. And we're out.
Goodbye to the triangulator. No, you don't appreciate us, man. We appreciate you.
Oh, wow. Shouldn't tell them we appreciate it.
You.
I think it's me.
We do the appreciating around here, triangulator. You get out of here with that. Bob Zarkoff, the Underground Dave Station Game Cat, still one of the best names ever. Johnny New Pockets, aka the Who Dat Game Cat. William McKinney, Vegan VR King, Guy Sun Fist bump to you. Hack the Game Cat is fucking lit. John Avey, Flame Hat the Game Cat. Art meets electronica. I like that name. Thank you. Dennis Manguso.
Who's a good name?
Hunter, the FNAF fan. Hello, you gonna play some FNAF? You gonna play some FNAF? Play some FNAF. Gamer Chicks 13. I still want my whip and my crossbow and my brass knuckles. Vegan, John, Avey, I think I already got these. Steve, IRE, Nick the Game Cat. Howoo! Wonder Rob, he's so wonderful. David Moore, thank you as always. Another trusty mod. Snack, MPLS, hello. Honor and Duty D-Day, he says. I guess people are jumping in. Andrew C. Happy Friday to you, Andrew C. Delirium Drew VR, thank you so much. Ben Garrick says, you guys say how it is, and this is golden. You guys are so right. Thank you, man. You're so right. Twitcher, the single player game cat, Merble suck. Josh Sosky, I got you back, Twitcher. I got you. I told you, don't mess with me. Don't mess with the guy with the microphone ever.
I feel like it's your breathtaking. AJ's taking this thing where it's like, no, you're not going to compliment me. I'm going to compliment you.
Josh Sosky, I kind of like Mortal Blitz a little bit too, man. I did too, but yeah, the model's bad. Andrew C, that guy is Will VR, says, I finally made it to a Gamescast. Will, where have you been? You're too late. Darth Vader, the Game Cat. What else we got here? I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. We got Mini Kit busting out of the box for the Cat. X Pacer X. Love you guys, man. You guys are the best.
Good night, everybody. We love you all.